my AirPods in. I was going to say earpods. You're not getting this. This is not yours. Both of you. No. You have your own food.
I think that we're live, but it's like a 30-second delay before it gets to YouTube. So,
well, we already started getting messages.
Yeah, if they have it, like their notifications turned on, then it will have it like waiting for them.
Got it.
Oh wait, I don't know why I keep refreshing like I am subscribed to my channel. I'm not. It's not going to show up in my feed. I'm on my channel. Give me one moment.
I was going to say, I can do it because, you know.
Okay. Here we go.
It's so weird to see my face on YouTube.
Okay. Yeah, we're there. We're there. User error. Just ignore. It's fine. Per usual. Mm-hmm. All right. Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. If you normally watch my channel, this is my Saturday video, so this will be it for today. We will introduce ourselves, but I'm Heather. I talk about romance. Jean.
I'm Jean. I talk about fantasy and romance.
Yeah, you do. On Instagram.
On Instagram. I'm not on YouTube. I'm not with the cool kids. I'm on the Bookstagram.
No. You should join us.
Oh, God.
Come on over.
Maybe I'm scared.
Don't be.
Thank you. I was
going for Steve Jobs. I'm trying to manifest.
You failed at looking like Steve Jobs. Just FYI.
Just the turtleneck.
You look like you're ready to go to church.
No vibes.
That's so rude. Yay. Oh, good morning. I'm like, good morning. It's 6:00. But
it's 12 here, girl.
I forgot.
Yeah.
It's the afternoon.
Earlier on the other side of the states.
Time zones trip me out every time. Like, I know, but like.
Still. Well, and it's like not everybody has their daylight savings and stuff at the same time or have it at all. So it's like I'll know Arizona the time difference and then it changes. And I'm like,
well, now I don't know. I wish we would just let it go.
Blame Benjamin Franklin for the time zone thing.
Pearls.
That's right.
Southern Belle.
Damn.
All right. Also, I just want you guys to take a moment to appreciate my shirt. And Jean, if you don't know this, like, Jess doesn't know this.
Yeah,
then
I'm like, can I see?
It's Visit Kimberly, they said. He won't be there, they said. Or he won't be home or something like that. Oh.
You don't even know what your shirt
is. It's Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice.
That's on my list.
Right.
I'm going to read it.
I know it's on your list, but you don't even have to read it. Just watch.
Watch the movie on repeat. Watch The Hand.
Which one?
And then The Clench.
All of them.
Oh, God. Yeah,
I mean,
seriously.
You should watch all of them.
The hand clenching is.
Yeah, the Keira Knightley one is what you watch if you want something under 2 hours. And then the mini series is what you watch if you want line for line everything that happens in the book, which we should get more of those, let me tell you. But it does take 6 hours, so. But they're broken up in hour segments, so I mean, it's totally doable.
And so it's 6 episodes?
Yes.
Woo!
1 hour.
Are you writing that down?
No, I was posting on Instagram that we're live.
I was like, are you writing that down? Yeah, I should probably post on Instagram too, actually.
But I wanted to like read. I was thinking about doing like a reading vlog and like reading it for the first time and then watching because I already have the book. But
do you read a lot of classics or historical? Because I don't feel like it's gonna give everything you think it's gonna give.
I don't read a lot of classics, but also, I mean, I read historical fiction every now and again, but also I didn't know what Bride and Prejudice. What is that?
I think it's supposed to be Pride and Guy.
And now
but I could be wrong.
Now I'm reading romance. I want to give it a try. I may not like it. I don't know. But
the thing is, it is like the original romance novel.
Yeah.
But it was written a long time ago. And so it's a different style. Now, she's very witty. All the humor and stuff in the movies, all of that's from the book. She wrote that. At the same time, if you normally read things written a year ago, it's going to be different.
Well, yeah. I mean, I
read and maybe not what you want.
Contemporary things, but it's fine.
Bollywood version. What?
Just know if you hate it, Jess, you better DNF and say nothing. I don't want to hear any
Silence.
of your
Crickets.
standalone rant reviews on Pride and Prejudice.
Hold on,
Not
mic
going to
issue.
be
One
friends
second.
anymore. But yeah, it's that serious. Just know that.
1 second. I'm
You look
having
like a
mic
little old
malfunction.
church lady or a librarian as
what
you're
I said,
like
she looks like
peering
she's going
over
to
your
church.
glasses.
It's not giving, the outfit's cute, but it's not giving me winery.
Exactly.
Winery in Sicily. It's not giving me that.
I don't know what you think a winery in Sicily
trash
is because look, you should see what some people were wearing. Anyway, I gotta do something with my mic really quick.
Okay, we'll let you. In the
Oh, I love
meantime,
her picture.
I know her Nigel fan art. She has merch with that.
I
don't
love
know
it.
if you've seen it.
Yeah,
but
I know she has
does.
merch. Nigel.
Okay. Maybe we should get started with or without her. We're already 6 minutes in.
Rude.
I know. It's fine. You'll get your moment to say your piece. Let's start with creator versus viewer. So I have a lot of thoughts about this,
Can't wait to hear.
but Jean, what do you think? Do you think that you owe your viewers content?
I don't think what? I would say I don't think I owe anybody anything as far as like on my Instagram, especially since it's just like, it's just a hobby. It's not my job. I don't know. I don't know. That's weird and complicated. I feel like maybe if you had a bigger following, I don't know. I feel like at the end of the day, no one owes their viewers anything.
Right.
Unless it's your job. I don't know. I feel like
even if it's your job, you don't owe
like
them
maybe
anything.
if you like disappear,
right,
and be like, hey, I'm just taking a break, mental health,
Right.
this or that. Do you owe them that? No, but it's nice to give people that,
Right.
especially if you've been friends with
Agreed.
them. So people are like, oh my
Right.
God, what happened to you? Are you alive?
Right. Because
But-
exactly, because if something happened to you, there's going to be lots of people that something happened to them and like their loved ones aren't going to know to update their social media following. So it's nice to know, hey, you are fine. You're just not here. But I feel like one kind of exception to this is if it's like Patreon or something like that, where you're paying monthly. I expect something to be posted in a month if I am paying.
I can see that. If there's like a service, like if someone's paying for you to talk to them, that's different because they're paying for that service.
Now, if you're saying, even with that though, if you're like, hey, life this month is like, I'm going through it. It's not going to happen. I'm not going to unsubscribe from you because you're taking a break. But if I'm paying you for a content that you said was going to be there and you don't even bother to update that it's not going to be there, I'm like, I don't like that. But like, especially for free content, which is all social media, right? Like I don't think that I owe you any content. At the same time, you don't owe me a like or a comment or a subscribe or any of the things. And I think especially with bookish creators, I don't owe you to read a book. Even if it's like the top book and what I cover or whatever, like I don't have to read anything for content.
Even though I would say in your case, viewers, or in my case, I guess viewers, you can still use the same word, or followers. I feel like some people act like you owe them.
Right.
And I'm like, why? Where do you get the audacity?
Right. We
Why
lost
we out
the
here
pearls.
excuse me, put the pearls back. What's going on?
No.
The pearls.
Y'all were giving me shit, so I took them off.
I'm shit about your glasses.
I'm a sensitive ass Pisces, so
okay. Same. Here we are. It'll be fine. What were you even saying? I don't remember.
I don't know. I got distracted. My husband walked in. What do you want?
The baby's bottle.
Another white man.
A white man? Leave, colonizer. Why are you looking at me like that?
Goodbye, sir.
I said, I'm gonna fuck you.
dare you?
Please leave. Please leave immediately. I hope you stub your toe. Oh my god.
So that's Jean's dynamic at home.
Child.
Which some of us already know because we follow her.
Idiot. Why she turned so
Moving.
confused?
I know. I don't know what Justice.
I think the last thing I said was that I think some viewers or followers feel like you owe them to read what they want you to read, which I don't understand. I'm like, if you read the book and you like the book, I could understand wanting someone you follow or like to read what you like, but to act like they owe you is very odd.
I think it's interesting too when maybe you grow your, and I feel like Jess, you might be able to comment on this, when you kind of grow your audience, reading a certain genre or making a certain type of content, and then you kind of go out of it a little bit and people are like, no, I'm here for XYZ, which I feel like though you have to create what you want to create. So will you maybe lose some followers if you transition out? Yeah. Will there be a lull period? Probably. But that doesn't mean that you killed your channel or whatever. Like, just give it the time to then get to the people who want your new content. And that's okay. And, you know, we as viewers can always follow somebody else who's reading that or making that type of content. It doesn't have to be the person that, yeah, they were your favorite. You liked when they did it. But if they have outgrown a certain genre or type of video or whatever it is, you have to let them do that.
Yeah. It's even like with me, I've been on Bookstagram for quite some time, a lot longer than a lot of people. And I don't necessarily have the followers to show for it because I refuse to make a very particular content that's popular on Bookstagram. I just want to be my most authentic self.
Right.
And the same thing with when I go on my little rants, my stories, be it, you know, about an author, politics, whatever.
Right.
Of course, people think, oh, no, don't. I want to message you and be like, you shouldn't be talking about that on here. Please.
Yeah, that's weird to me.
Look, it's Inception. Hold on. God, it's so bright. How do I? There you go. Do you see your someone? My friend messes that to me. Of course.
Good job, friend.
If you're watching, Taylor, why did you have to take this picture? Very unflattering for me. My eyes are closed on like this.
I know who you're talking about. All right, Jess, jump in.
Do I feel
creator
like
versus viewer?
Oh, so as a longtime viewer, I feel like no, creators don't owe anyone content. But I, as a creator, have felt like I owe my audience content, like with book community, which is, I guess, my claim to fame. I was doing them. They can't, you know, at first it was like maybe once a month or every couple weeks. And then for a while, there was just, it literally was like relentless mess every week. And so I was like, every week. And then I did, like, sometimes I would skip or whatever, but, you know, I would get people, once they were popular, tweeting me like, oh, I'm not even going to look at this thing. I'm just waiting for Jess to explain it. Or I'll wait for Tuesday. And I'm like, oh, I wasn't planning on putting out a video.
Right.
Oh, I can see
yeah,
it
like,
stressful.
I'll be like, okay, this week I'm going to give myself, I'm not going to do it. And then people will be like, oh, I can't for this breakdown. And I'm like, damn it. Okay. And then I'd be scrambling like on Monday. I'm like, I gotta put it together.
Right.
So I have obviously gone to just like monthly. And for a while it was definitely stagnation on my channel. And I felt a certain way because I was like, dang it. Because, you know, a lot of people did come to my channel for that. But I just kept doing other videos. Thank you. And people have come and or other people have stayed, and then I do them monthly. And even if, you know, they still perform well and I maybe don't cover everything, but it definitely is more doable, lets me do other things. So it's really weird when I watch other people, I don't expect anything of them. And like, I do think if it is like your primary job, or maybe you have a huge following, and if you're going to take a break, that it is nice. I still don't think you owe anybody, but I know some people can be like, oh no, what happened? To be like, hey, I'm taking this break or blah, blah,
Right.
blah. But yeah, some people can get really demanding and yeah, sometimes it's really hard with content creation because it's also content creation and social media. It's not just like something you put out and then people consume it. It's like a social media to it too. So it's like
Right.
really hard to take a break from it without feeling like, yes, without feeling, I feel guilty. Like this week I only put out one video and I felt guilty, but I also had told myself I'm only going to do one video a week for January. And then I had like 3 one week and 2 the other. So yeah, it's hard, especially when you're like, okay, I'm getting good views, because the algorithms are rude and they really push for you to post every day on Instagram or multiple times a day. Push reels. I know on TikTok, it's like people post 3 times a day. So like they make the algorithms and social media platforms
I ain't got time for that.
Right? They're like, we want you to be attached to this all the time. And it's so hard because you're like, I want to grow. Because if anyone, like at the root of everything, everyone on some social media platform wants to reach people, wants people to see their content. So I hate when people are like, you shouldn't just do it for views. Well, like I can talk to myself, and I do talk to myself in my house, but like and put it on video.
Don't we all?
But you know, so it's hard when you're like getting in a good rhythm, you're posting videos, and then you want to take some time off, come back, and then the algorithm's like, oh, we forgot you. And you're like, damn it. So that was a long-winded.
Yes, the algorithm for Instagram. It's so frustrating.
What
like I
is
said
it?
before, like I said before, which I don't understand. You know, no offense to anyone who is on Instagram that creates this kind of content, like the very I have an aesthetic, like very plain Jane, neutral colors, things like that. Do I look like a neutral color kind of girl? No, I'm not doing that. I don't, you know, or like having all this stuff in the photo. I just want to post a picture, a nice picture of a book. I want to talk about it. And I hate that I might lose followers because I'm not doing that. Like all my photos don't look the same. I don't understand.
But they're so good though. You should be.
I know. I literally love your feed. So
hair, nails.
Good for me.
Yes. Yeah, I've never got into. I've never been a good bookstagrammer, but even at the beginning when I was trying, I never could just be that like every picture's gonna look the same or like have. I'm like, but I'm not. I don't have an aesthetic. I like different things.
It feels like that would get boring, you know?
Yeah.
I feel like the aesthetic I have going on my Instagram just matches me and my personality.
Right.
Yeah.
And this is true of any type of content. Like, I really, truly believe in making what you like, and the people who like what you want to make will find you. And you can't try and be popular with something that you don't like, because ultimately that's just going to lead to burnout, and it's going to suck because you're just like, I hate all of this. Yeah.
Eventually it's just you're gonna see through the cracks.
I feel like since I stopped caring about how many followers I have or how many likes I have on my pictures, I feel like I found my people.
Right.
Like the people who read fantasy, who read romance, a mixture of both. And I desire my TikTok sharing. I help people. They don't have to go on TikTok scrolling for hours and hours. Just doing it for you.
I spend so much time in your stories. It's not even funny.
Yeah, I post so much of my stories.
I've gotten the way Instagram is like, I hardly scroll through pictures. I go through stories.
You scroll through pictures and it's like 2 things that you follow, then a suggested follow post, then an ad, then especially like, what the fuck?
Especially when they show me someone in the suggested that I know is filled with like drama. I'm like, I accidentally like that. I'm like, no. Get out of here. Get off of my page.
And like the shopping, I'm like, I don't shop on Instagram. Maybe I get interested in an item, but I'm not shopping on Instagram.
Yeah, that's weird.
I hate it.
It's very heavy though.
It's such a weird
app. It just wasn't so bright. Go over here. God.
It's okay.
We can cover by windows on every side. Jesus.
I do think that, especially with like the algorithm, you can't sacrifice yourself in the name of algorithm. Like, too much content is gonna kill you. It just is. And there are even people who are like, hey, I posted all the time to grow, and I don't recommend, you know, because it's so much time. Like, people who don't create content are not aware of how much time. And obviously different types of things take less time. Some of my videos are very doable. Some are like so many hours. But like, don't sacrifice yourself in the name of trying to please the algorithm, because the algorithm is never going to be pleased. And when
unless you're a certain person, there are certain people,
right,
it always works in their favor, but that's a very small percentage.
But also, when you're done and chewed up and spit out, it's just going to recommend somebody else. Like, they don't need you at all.
You could,
so don't sacrifice yourself for it.
Yeah. They're like, you can post, say, like 365 days in a row, and then you're like, oh gosh, I feel under the weather today, and take one on. They'll be like, oh, blue, your next post. Instagram is so, I hate it. Suggested, like, I already know. That's just like on Facebook, like people
like,
I'm not friends with them for a reason.
Suggested, like, get out of here.
Yes.
Listen, also, by the way, Gina's like very much downplaying it because her photos are gorgeous.
Aww,
like,
thank you.
I cannot tell you.
I don't mean to downplay it. Thank you. You know, for me, my Instagram is, you know, obviously we all love books, but my Instagram is like a way for me, like a creative, what's the word I'm looking for? God, just a way to release
expression.
Yes, outlet. Because I've always been like into like art, photography, things like that. I was like in my high school, I was like they had like a visual arts program. I did that. So it's just like a way for me to get it out. I used to paint. I would like to start doing that again.
I mean, I think too, like you said, if you enjoy the process, that's hugely different from forcing yourself to do the process on a daily basis.
Yeah, like, I can't do it every day. It's just too much. And then with the, you know, I have a toddler running around. I can pose everything for a picture, and he comes in and he's like, bitch, it's gone now.
Yep. I hate,
and that's what I was going to say. Children, there are people.
Y'all are superheroes. I can't imagine. Like, Nigel,
you got Nigel. That's good enough.
And I'm like, y'all have human children.
Let's just say I got the human children, and then I got these two big dogs, one on either side of me right now.
Nigel is high maintenance.
Nigel looks like he's high maintenance.
He is. Dude, it's
my fault.
Literally, but it's fine. You live your life.
He's sleeping on a little pillow, right? I don't know if wait. It's a mess in here, but look, you see him? He's on a pillow on the couch. The chair.
He's got his own chair.
To Vina's point, this was another thing I was thinking. Literally, you have people with millions of followers who post once every 9 months, and that works for them. Like, again, people, for the average person, yes, the algorithm plays a part, but you're not in charge of the algorithm. Don't let it decide everything for you.
Algorithm makes no sense. I don't know what they're doing over there on Instagram.
You can study it and be like, okay, I've looked at my content for 2 months, and then you can do the same thing or like change it up, you know, because they're like, if you post it this time or if you post this many times a day, and it still won't work. It literally just.
I know a Bookstagram creator who will block anyone who likes a bunch of posts. You know, they think they're doing something nice, but they'll block them because that's negative to the algorithm.
So, I didn't know that. I don't do it because I personally just find it to be kind of
if I do it, like if it's a new person, I tend to do that for someone I just follow. I'm like, oh, you know, I usually stop at 6. I'm like, I'm in like 6 photos and I'm done.
I don't. I'll like the post that I liked, but I don't scroll through their feed and like everything, because to me, I'm just like, okay, cool. You found my page. You liked 19 photos in a row, and then I never hear another peep from you ever again. Like, what is the point? I don't know.
Yeah.
But okay, to Sophia's question, what do you think about honesty? I don't think that you owe any information. I don't think that you have to tell anybody. No is a sentence by itself. You don't have to explain your reason. I'm taking a break is a sentence by itself. You don't have to explain. Again, I do think that it is considerate to say I'm taking a break if you're taking a break, just so again they know you're not dead, literally.
Yeah.
You know. So I think that is considerate, but you don't owe anybody an explanation. So that's not the same thing as honesty. But like if I'm saying I hate or love a book, I better be telling the truth. I think that's obvious.
As a viewer, I like honesty, especially like, obviously you guys have the YouTube side. We go with the Bookstagram side. I like honesty if if a Bookstagrammer's got caught and doing something a little fishy. I'm like, stop lying. We all know you're lying. Just be honest. Why are you lying?
Yeah.
And then I get blocked. You should see my block list and probably the amount of people that got me blocked. Oh my goodness.
I believe it.
Hi, I'm Jean. If you don't know me, I like to call out content creators.
That's true.
And authors. Oh my goodness.
A visionary, an icon.
I'm gonna get to them.
I like to piss off people.
It is one of her favorite hobbies.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, what Heather said about honesty, and then to the point of like book reviewing and stuff like that. Obviously, you can, because I've watched a variety of people before I like decided to subscribe or follow them on Goodreads or whatever. For a variety, usually on YouTube, it could be some people I watch. I don't even read most of the things they read, but I find them from entertainment. But other people who do like reviews, and we usually have like similar tastes and stuff. And I feel like, after watching them a while, like, okay, I know your reviews and how I can trust you. And so I don't know. I think everyone's going to have that differently because I don't know. I feel like, I know it's a great thing to build a relationship with a publisher and get ARCs and stuff or free books, but I'm never going to sacrifice like my integrity or lie about a book or bump up a rating to appease nobody. And I'm not like, it just exists that people are going to do that. Like whether it's on Goodreads or Bookstagram or on YouTube, the publisher might've sent it. It's still a 2-star. I'm sorry, I can't lie. So for me, I'm always gonna be like, look, it was a no for me, dog. But you might like it. But I think, people just have to learn, maybe somebody loves this person and thinks that their reviews are very honest. And maybe I'm like, I don't know. So that's why you have your choice. Pick and choose who you want to watch. Instagram stories, top tier.
I feel also, like I'm not, this is my personal thing. I'm not looking to see what you think about a popular book. I'm looking to hear about a book that I don't know about that I will love.
I think that's originally how I found you. Is I was looking for recommendations.
I literally don't know how we met. All I know is that like I feel like somehow we connected on Instagram, and like since then it's been like a daily basis.
I was gonna say, I think it was first on your YouTube. I think I started commenting when you were pretty new. I was like, oh my god, she has so many recommendation videos. Why is no one talking about her? And I was like, they're all like romance heavy books. I'm like, excuse me.
Right.
Connect.
All I know is I remember like seeing your Instagram and being like, I love this. I love this so much.
Happy.
But you're right. It probably was based on a comment. Like I probably checked you out.
I feel like that's
comment.
I was gonna say that's how I feel like I've gotten to become friends with certain booktubers. I'm like not on BookTube, but I end up following the smaller creators because they're giving me the content I want.
Right. Exactly.
Even though Jess, she's big. She up there now.
Jess went up. I do know. I want to tell you guys. I found out about Jess's existence because of Jean. Jean shared her Sasha Alsberg video in her stories.
Yes.
And I was like, oh my God, I'm so curious. Like somebody made a whole video. And then I clicked on the video and it was like a legit, like fact by fact commentary video. And I was like,
she came
really good.
And then I met Jess through Bookstagram before you even had a YouTube.
Yeah. Years ago.
God, I'm feeling old. Shit.
I know. It feels like it's so funny because there's some people like I don't know. I think I joined Bookstagram maybe like 2016, 2017, and that I still talk to, I still follow, or reply to a story here and there. It's like we've been here together.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
So this one,
spicy.
Yeah. I don't think that you have to do it if you don't want to, but if you don't do it, expect people to assume that you don't care about that issue, and that's why you don't talk
I have
about it.
thoughts.
Let it out.
I was gonna say, if,
Alex.
for example, let's use Black Lives Matter as an example. When
Let us.
on Instagram, when I didn't see certain people not posting about Black Lives Matter
Mhm.
and not being like, I'm not talking about just like, let me just upload a picture
My black
or
square.
a story and then just disappear. No, I want to
Right.
hear you actively doing
Right.
something, especially if you're a white creator. I'm like, excuse me, what are you doing?
Right.
I had some people that I was friends with that I'm not really friends with anymore because I was like, why aren't you talking about it? It seems
Mhm.
sus. You are now on my sus list.
Right.
I'm like,
Business as usual.
I love that word. Sus.
sus.
One of my favorite abbreviations.
But yeah, it's like when someone, do you have to? Of course not. But if you're not, someone somewhere, me in particular, will consider you sus. And then I'm gonna be looking at what you've been reading.
Mm-hmm.
If you read diversely, do you post diversely? Who are you following? Are you following just white creators? Are you following all ethnicities? I feel when someone's all like white, I'm again sus. I'm
Right.
suspicious. Line
Yeah.
review for Fury.
It's funny.
Yes. I have complicated feelings on that with the speaking about issues because I very much was like, why aren't you saying anything? Oh, rude. But I mean, I also don't post on. I just post on my stories. I might post a picture every 4 months.
You should just become a Nigel page.
Yes. I mean, I don't know why I even have one.
Look what happened when you took off the pearls.
I told you, Steve Jobs. That's what I said, the vibe. I'm just trying to attract the money. I don't want to be him. But I feel I have complicated feelings because if you've never said anything or maybe you never even talk about, and it's just kind of I hate these words because they're very like Ben Shapiro-ish, but like virtue signaling maybe when it's just something everyone's talking about.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like if you just put up something, does that mean that's not enough? Like do you know about the issue?
Right.
Did you educate yourself on it? Which I found myself doing. I'm like, yeah, I'm sharing, which is still valid. It's still great to share, especially when there's like a tragedy that happens and you're sharing like ways to donate or relief for certain countries or whatever. Still great. But then I'm like, oh wow, oh I like that.
Okay.
I'm like,
Here's
I
my
actually
thing.
don't know a lot about the conflict between let's not use conflict.
Right.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Between Palestine and Israel, like I know about it, but I don't know about it. And so I was like, well, let me
know about it enough.
Learn about it and like get some text. But then I also, when my therapist was still here, I was like telling her, I was like, I'm just trying to keep up with all the things. She's like, it's great that you want to be aware and like spread awareness, but you cannot keep up with it all. And she's like, so, because I love to doom scroll on Twitter. And so she was like, it is helpful if you share, especially like donation links and stuff like that. But she was like, you have to take like maybe one or two issues that you're really passionate about, and you can learn about those things and make that, because you just can't about everything. So I just get
too much.
Yeah. So it's like, it's hard, but I think you can tell if like someone's super active in their stories and share certain things, but then there's silence on something. Sometimes maybe you're like,
yeah, I feel like you can tell easy when which way someone's going.
Right.
So
I think that
it's hard.
It has to be genuine. And I find this very frustrating when people are like, you talked about Black Lives Matter, but you're not talking about what's happening in the Philippines, or you're not talking about what's happening in Brazil, or you're not talking about what's happening in Japan. And it's like, okay, but you can't expect one person to post about all the conflicts, all of the natural disasters, all of the police brutality, all of the things that happen worldwide. That's not legitimate, because like literally the biggest news organizations in the world aren't going to report on every single bad thing that's happening worldwide in a given day. It's not going to happen. You can't expect that of a single creator. And on top of that, like you said, shouldn't creators be posting something that they at least know is legitimate and not just something that they saw?
You don't want to was to say you don't want to just post something and then someone want to come and talk to you about it. And you're like, I don't know,
Right. And like my thing is, you don't have to post about everything. If things are coming across my timeline, especially things that I don't know about or that people that I follow, they are affected by it, so clearly they know what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Then like I try to pay attention to what they're saying, right?
Mhm.
Because I am a white, stay-at-home, homeschooled, grew up evangelical, Western Pennsylvania.
How are you
like
so normal?
I know, thank you.
She's
Thank
a
you.
rare one.
I pride
We are
myself
so
on that.
proud of you.
Like there's a lot of things that are not my life experience. So, but if you are from Brazil and you're posting about what's happening in Brazil, then I'm paying attention to what you're saying, especially if I already follow you. So I already know, okay, you at least have 2 brain cells, right? Like I liked you enough to follow you in the first
Not
place. So I'm
2.
going to listen to what you're saying about this issue that is your issue.
Yeah.
Which I really like doing, I have to say. And that's one of the great things about following a diverse group of people is when something that happens that is affecting their group, you're like, I already like this person. I already know this person.
Yeah.
What are they saying? And you don't have to wonder what you're getting, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Because
But
also when something was happening, I think it was like the COVID crisis with like oxygen in India, which I was sharing. But
right.
then someone was like, ooh, this is not like the best resource. So the greatest thing about following, various creators around the world is they usually know like, oh no, this is a good organization to donate. This is what people actually need. So you don't just like put up some random thing and it, sadly could be a scam or whatever. And like, it always, when something happens, I sometimes feel the need to like word my own tweet or something, but I never feel like I have the words. So that's why I do like share, retweet, hey, check out this person, because I don't have it. I don't have I'm not eloquent enough to say something moving or whatever. So I'm like, follow these people, check out what's happening. I love an infographic.
Right.
And so yeah, I think it's complicated, nuanced, and I do more on Twitter because it's just Twitter. That's kind of the platform, is just something short,
Right.
retweet. So I do a lot more sharing, especially when something's happening in the Philippines, like Typhoon. I follow creators from there, or creators when with NSARS. So I think that's also something. Maybe if someone has a Twitter but they're not super active, so you don't see them post there, but they have an Instagram and they are active and they post there. So I think it's not just like a look at this person. Yeah. They didn't say anything about this issue, they're terrible. It's kind of like watching in a pattern, and then some people just don't feel comfortable, which is valid, and we can never know 100% what they're doing at home or so.
But this is my thing though. But I feel like as a book influencer, you either think that it is okay for all the published authors to be white with their 1 or 2 token, we have our Black YA Author of the Year, or you don't. And if you don't think that that's okay, then you probably shouldn't be using your platform to recommend 99% white books, or straight books or whatever. I feel like if you actually care about it, at some point it's going to be reflected in your content and your reading. Now, there are lots of people who post their diverse book stacks and don't read them. There are lots of people who are
Black
very active with the issues.
Black History Month is coming up. I'm just waiting for all these Instagram creators to just post stacks of Black authors and not read them.
I'm just waiting for the 1-year anniversary of Isabella Starling trying to pretend like she was a Black love author on February 1st. That's what I'm waiting for.
That's embarrassing.
It's just like, she was so shady. So shady.
You remember the other dude
to tell you.
who had like the southern, he had like the cozy mysteries, but they were like soul food mysteries?
Yes. I remember.
What?
Like,
the audacity. The audacity. Wait, this comment,
which one?
Read Love Listens, it's funny how people pick and choose. Which is very, very interesting. Because I've seen I don't know. It's very people are very selective on who they get mad at.
Yes. I'm calling out people all the time in my stories about J. Kristoff, and I'm like, you still going? You still reading J. Kristoff? All right.
Like,
for me, the TBR is never ending. I don't
still
have
reading
to
Jamie
read
McGuire?
problematic authors. I don't have to read them.
yeah, there's so many
Jamie
books.
McGuire is so racist. It's not even funny.
Jamie McGuire needs to get punted.
Yes.
Terrible.
Yes.
I agree. It's just here's my thing. I want to
that
follow
last
people
comment.
who promote diverse books. I just do. And my thing is there's a large majority of people who don't care. You can read J. Kristoff and they will follow you. You can read nothing. Sarah J. Maas could be the most diversity you've got and they will be happy to take all your recommendations, right? But that's not me. I'm not going to be that. I'm not going to follow you. Plenty of other people are. You don't need me. It's fine. But like if I'm following you, then I'm going to know that you
This comment made me think of a particular YouTuber.
I need to message you later because
please,
please.
Where's the tea?
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's something. Yes. I can't tell because if I tell, then you guys are all gonna be able to figure it out. But there's the context.
I read 200 books a year, and they're all white.
That's my point.
That was a joke.
She has a bi character, and some of her characters are not white. So diversity.
Yeah.
But yeah. Which, like, if you like Sarah J. Maas, I like Sarah J. Maas. I don't care. But that's not where you go to get your diversity from. If she's one author that you're reading, totally fine. If you're like
as a SJM stan, because I'm a hoe for that Faye D. She ain't diverse, okay?
She's not diverse.
Yeah. Diverse where?
It's fine.
She gave me breadcrumbs with the Bat Boys, and everyone draws them freaking white. I can't take it. I'm always arguing about this damn shit.
I think it's fine to read Sarah J. Maas and Cassandra Clare and whatever. And when people, I get frustrated when people I'm not frustrated. I don't know what the word is because it's fair to critique a book and say that this, like with, let's take V.E. Schwab's Addie LaRue. People are like, there's no black people. Like there was one valid critique. But because I think the term diverse has come like, is this book diverse? And it's like, is it one book or just your reading experience? So you can read books with all white characters, but then you can go to this author and learn about black characters or this author. And so like, I feel like it's your reading overall and not like one, because I feel like people are like, yes, I read diverse. Here's my one black book, or this book has black people in it. And it's like, well, you can read the Sarah J. Maas's, and then you can read Christina C. Jones, and then you can read Nnedi Okorafor, and then you can read like you just get all these different, just like you can read different genres, you can read from different groups of people, and then you're reading diversely.
Yeah.
Well, man,
I think
people want it in like one place. They want a one-stop shop.
Yeah, I'm like, that's not how it works.
Right.
And it's so
much
of depending.
It's on you as a viewer. Follow a diverse group of people.
Exactly.
You follow diversity, you're gonna find diversity.
Right. Every time I see AOC, I'm like, what y'all talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for? Oh, author of color. My bad.
Exactly.
I'm not used to seeing the AOC. Because even if I'm talking about the author of color, I always just say POC or, BIPOC.
Right.
All these acronyms. I'm like, ugh. Even with the books, there's a new acronym for every book. And I'm like, what book are you talking about?
On book
you just
Twitter,
sent me the
like
keyboard.
7 letters. And I'm like, no, I can't.
Yeah. I'm like, I don't know what that is.
And like I've said many times before, you're not going to read diversely on accident. You're going to do it on purpose because, most books being not only published but also recommended are white, cis, straight, able-bodied, neurotypical. There's zero diversity. The most you're going to get is the funny black friend. If you have an interracial romance, it's still going to be a white dude that's over 6 feet tall with his 6-pack and his big dick and his black hair and his blue eyes. Like,
give us a short king.
Like you gotta do diversity on purpose.
My poor husband.
And a big part of that is who you follow. Do they recommend diverse books or not? If the people you're getting recs from don't recommend diversely, all the books that you're hearing about that you want to read aren't going to be diverse. It's literally 1 + 1. It's not hard.
When people say everyone on BookTube is talking about the same book, and it's like, but not everybody.
The fuck they are not.
That's fine for the people, because I follow people who read popular books.
Right.
And then I follow other people who read more indie things, or maybe, something I haven't heard. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. Let me try to go find that. So it's like, that's also fine, but there's also other people out there who don't read those things.
Right. Like, there is nothing wrong. There is nothing wrong with me reading an all-white book that is a straight couple. There's nothing wrong with it. There is something wrong if in the hundreds of videos I've posted, that's all I'm recommending.
Yep.
You know, it's a pattern. It's not you can't read any white authors. That's the battle cry of only BIPOC authors are being picked up, and that's why I can't make it in publishing. It's like, what are you talking about? We're not even close to 50-50.
It makes
We're not
no
even close
sense
to 50-50.
We are
When
not.
I hear that, I'm like, help me understand, because it's not clicking.
Just like,
It's
say your book
just
is
you,
bad
boo.
without
It's
saying your book
just
is
you.
bad. When
For real.
like when I did my romance ranking video, I realized that even though I read like 30 something romance books, which was a lot for me in 1 year,
So
that
proud.
almost all of them were heterosexual couples. And I was like, well, I need to change that and read different, because it was just easy to go with these popular things or read this one author and finish the series. And I'm like, well, that's boring. Some of them were interracial, some were white, some were Black love, some were other like cultures, but I'm like, I need to change it up. So sometimes it's not like you have to keep a accurate spreadsheet, Mara. Shout out to Mara and Bethany for your reading.
They
but
know
sometimes
everything.
just like going and looking through and taking like a short inventory, like, just like someone said, I want to read more translated works. Me too. Because I haven't read a lot of those. I want to read things that aren't set in like the US or the UK. And I've had to look at me like, I've done better with reading from different authors of different backgrounds, but they're still very much Western centered.
Right. Which again, you can't reach perfection. It's not diversity bingo. It's not, okay, I'm reading 12 books this month. I need to have a BIPOC, a queer, a non-Western, a non-romance, a neurodivergent, a disability. Like, you can't do that. At the same time, I know that I keep track of my reading, right? I have a monthly reading wrap up. During the month, I'm looking and I'm like, how diverse am I so far? Do I need to prioritize? Like, have I read like 5 in a row that didn't have anything? Because in that case, I'm going to make sure, because you can be a mood reader and you can read diversely, because there are people who write what you like. Who are diverse authors.
You sometimes can fall into like, especially I think in romance is easy. Like, I'm just going to read all of these books. And then maybe you just read 5 or 6 books in a row by the same person with the same, configuration of stories. So you don't have to like be, like you said, the bingo board every month, but sometimes check in and just be like.
You probably hear my dog snoring. You hear, it's my dog snoring.
No,
she's loud as shit.
Surprisingly, not right now. He usually is.
No, it's my dog Ripley. She's really
Ripley. Sometimes you don't have to be strict with it, but
and you know what? If you want to mood read an entire series, go for it. That's not what anybody's saying. Nobody's saying you must not read what you want to today on this Tuesday because you don't have anything yet. But just like in general, when you get to the end of the year, you should have read more than 3 books.
And honestly, nowadays it's way easier to find. Especially with indie authors.
More resources, Kindle Unlimited, and just BookTube, Book Talk, Book Twitter. Like, ask somebody.
Even though Book Talk, I'm like, I follow a lot of different people, and I'm like, if I hear the same book again, please.
Yeah, they seem to be a little bit behind, which is great that they're discovering, because some of those books, I'm like, that was a great book. But I mean, I don't follow a lot of book talkers, but
right. Okay, last thing on creator versus viewer. Is it okay to clap back at your viewers? Does it depend on your platform size? Does it depend on the nastiness of their comment or their
Just his
DM?
face.
Give it to me.
Oh man. Who wants to start there?
Yeah, that's hard. I feel like, well, I guess so. I'm speaking from book 2. Do you mean in like someone says a comment like under your video, or just like any kind of?
Let's say you, because you have the biggest platform of the 3 of us, right? So you have 30,000 people following you, and someone who maybe has no following says something. Now for me, like if they were racist or whatever, like drag them to Kingdom Come. I do not care.
Drag them to filth.
But if they're like, I don't like your videos, I would just block, you know?
Yeah.
Bye.
Same. Because I, at the beginning when I first started, definitely was like, I had to reply to every single comment. Even at the beginning, it was few and far between that were any kind of ambiguous to negative comment. And then of course, as you grow, you have more people, so there's gonna come the trolls. And then I learned the feature about the hide from channel, and that has been wonderful because I always am like, I feel like Ashley, where I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do it. And I also have certain words that are just blocked out that I don't even see in comments. So I
want to know what that word list is.
Oh, some of them are just like social justice warrior and woke. Like, because those people are so annoying. Because I'm like,
he's a part of the woke mob.
Yeah, like, just dumb words like that. Any kind of, I think they're mostly words like that. I can't think. I put in a bunch.
Right.
So I feel like if it's just like a hate kind of comment or something, most of the time, it depends on the day, I might have a little spicy come back to a comment, or like I just type my comment and go, and or ignore it. But if it's something like someone were to like say I was like, call me out on Twitter or something and say I was lying or something, then that might have to be different. Like obviously when that situation happened and back in September or August or wherever it was, I had to address it on my channel. That was a person with a platform, but I've also been doing community and growing. People send me stuff all the time, about people, about whatever. And there was this one thing that a bunch of people were mad at. And the creator was at like 4K on YouTube. And I think at that time I was at like 15. And I was like, well, while this thing I don't agree with, and I want to talk about it, is me having this many people going to send people over to this person's channel? And that was before I just decided to stop talking about creators. And so I didn't. So I think now, unless it's like a direct attack on my character or something, or like something I actually did do, then I just would ignore it for the most part. I don't know. Of course, I might clap back in my mind or into a group chat, but because I've seen,
she is so funny,
something Ashley. That, especially like if you just want a reactionary tweet or something and how bad that can go. But like, some people just, they want to get you, like someone on my nonfiction, like my top nonfiction was like, this is such woke, blah, blah, blah. Like you're only reading books about yourself. And I was like, did you even watch? Like sometimes people type comments where I'm like, you obviously did not listen to anything I said. Same like, did you watch the video? But most of the times I'm like, not today, Jesus, not today.
I'm sorry. What you were saying about like the difference in followers, I don't know, because you said you don't follow any book talkers. Heather knows the name of the author that I always freaking forget.
Katie Robichaux.
What? I don't know that last name.
Katie Robichaux. She's a indie romance author.
Yeah, she's an indie romance author. She has a really decent following at Book Talk. I think it's like
a couple 100,000. Yeah.
And she was commenting on some thirsty shit. Because a big thing on Book Talk is a lot of cis white males want to hop on that Book Talk train and be like, they'll put like hashtag Cassie,
I'll be your book boyfriend.
I'll be your book boyfriend. Things like that. And these girls, they thirsty. Like we can see your comments. We can see your comments. And then there's this small content creator on Book Talk. Her name's Mallory. She made a video about people like that, telling them, get a grip. And that's her opinion. That's fine. But then this author got pissed because one of her comments on that video was in Mallory's video.
Right.
And Mallory has 4,000 followers, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And everyone from that author's page went to her page, Mallory's page, and just hate comment. And this author's like, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't send anyone after her. And I'm like, girl.
Inherently, even if you can beg and plead, please do not go. People, I don't know why, but they will, especially if you don't say anything. And so for someone with that size to say, oh my God, I didn't know, that always happens. People have this weird allegiance, talking about parasocial relationships. They have the weird allegiance with people that they follow on social media where they're I'm running to their defense.
Right. You don't even know them.
Yeah, you literally have never really, interacted with them, or maybe you have, but those people always want to, and I'm like, but what is that doing for the person you're defending? That's not doing anything for them. You're just hurting someone else.
Yeah. And I don't know if you know Yanni on Bookstagram. She has a pretty sizable following. She's plus size, and she often will call out authors or artists or book boxes when their art, for example, is not matching up with the book content. Mm-hmm. And you have that artist, oh my God, that author, Scarlett St. Clair, who I want to throttle, because she put a I think mid-sized character in her book, which is awesome. But I'm like, are you doing it just to do it? Because she commissioned a bunch of artwork, and the artwork, she's skinny, she's a POC in one of the artworks, and then white in the other. Make it make sense. Yanni's out there calling it out. Author blocks her. Or she's gotten so many hate comments and hate messages, disgusting messages from the author's followers. And I just don't understand it. I'm like, why are you defending this author so hard? Unless you know someone personally, I'm like, I don't understand. What is your damage?
Okay. All right. I have so many thoughts. I'm glad we're at this. Which obviously we'll get into more reader, author, creator stuff. But with the Katie Robichuk stuff, the initial video, I can understand her being annoyed, right? Because the initial video, she was like, and I feel really bad for this author who commented on the guy's video.
Yeah.
But then you made a video and you were being a bitch.
She really was.
Maybe that's your vibe. Okay. And I will just point out here, Romancelandia has a major problem with viewing romance as a marginalized identity, and we can ride for it, and we can, come and clap back at you because how dare you insinuate anything about romance. And it's not you're not persecuted, you're just a romance reader. Calm down. But so I feel like that vibe is very common, where it's well, I'm going to be a bitch because you were super rude about my romance thing. And she was saying, I was promoting my book. I got so many readers and stuff. But you had a much larger following, and then you attacked a smaller follower, and then your following mobbed her, and you were not regretful about that. If you make a mistake one time and you fix it, that doesn't, to me, mean that you are crossed out. But if you make a mistake and you double down and you're like, well, nobody should be mad at me for this, and well, she shouldn't have said it in the first place, and then no, your biggest thing is you messed up. How are you going to react now? And if your reaction is, well, people shouldn't be mad, and this creator got what she deserved, and I'm not really sorry, and you have literally 100 times the amount of followers that they do, no. Now you've crossed the line that I am no longer going
she posted a video afterwards to kind of make up for it, and she ended up taking it down, and then she posted it on Facebook because someone sent it to me, and kind of like you said, doubling down on what she was talking about. I'm like, do you think people are not going to see this? I was like, right. Not only women, but just people who are into books are like detectives. We will find it. Whatever you say, we will find it.
And don't
Ugh.
say you're sorry and then smack talk the person
Yeah.
that you supposedly apologize to. Like,
Ugh.
don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard. Don't do it. It's not hard. But yeah, I think that people really they with romance, they like hype each other up. Yes, we are so persecuted. Yes, you know, misogyny, romance is inherently feminist. No, it's not. One, you just you one, romance is super white and super straight. And anytime there's an author who is not one of those identities, you would almost think that they don't even exist, much less the readers. Because again, not all readers are female, not all readers are romance. I think that it gets people get confused and that romance is kind of viewed as a feminine pursuit. So yes,
Yeah.
misogyny does overlap with it, but that doesn't mean that it's for women, by women, all of that stupid stuff that like erases everybody else, which is so
Yeah.
wrong because you're supposed to be enjoying something that people view down on and you're using your platform to look down on everybody else. Like, no, you can't sit with us, and it's rude and it's racist and it's a problem. Just saying, like, romance has a problem.
It does feel a lot like the Mean Girls table.
It does.
You can't sit with us.
You're wearing pink.
I feel like when it comes to fan art, the problem is that conventional what's the word I'm looking for? Attractiveness stands. So, and people like, I know you guys, you see things the way that they're described, but a lot of people don't. But then when they see that visual representation, they still want the Hollywood thin actress with the big boobs and the outfit going into the jungle with like her stomach and her thighs showing. Like, excuse me, like, that's not explorer outfits. That's not what it is. I don't know what to tell
gonna get
you.
eaten
Like,
by mosquitoes.
we only need armor on our boobs. That's not it. That's not how
I
it
must
works.
protect my bosoms from slashes of sword.
You know, but like they still want that visual representation, and then you erase all of the diversity you have in the character.
It's one thing if an artist draws a character for a book they never read, which is odd, but usually it's someone commissioning it. And it's especially upsetting when the author's commissioning it, because I'm like, isn't it your job to make sure your character is portrayed correctly? Like, it's like with JLA, for example, just kind of sitting in the middle. Poppy being plus size. We're just going to sit in the middle.
Right.
We're not going to say anything. We're going to be silent. It's really fucking annoying. I'm like, just, what's the big deal? If you wrote her as plus size, just say if she's plus sized. What is, if you think you're going to lose people for that, then maybe they're worth losing. Because, I don't know, what is Yanni's account? At the Lady Sparks. Yanni's great.
There you go.
She's a sweetheart. She's been fucking stressed out because of the stuff with Scarlett Sinclair. She has so many freaking followers, Scarlett Sinclair. And I don't like that she did that live with Yanni about, you know, trying to correct things and then let me block her. I'm like, oh, so it was all for show. Okay.
Right. That's super messed up, and I took her off my TBR. So
yeah, I actually sold my books of hers. That Touch of Darkness, that trilogy, I sold it yesterday on eBay for $35. Peace, bitch.
Yeah.
Thank you. You made me money.
Mosquitoes out there. Like, it's just it annoys me so much. I know we're all annoyed by it, I'm sure, but it's like the adventure movie, and you've got the guys like covered from toe to shoulders because they're in the jungle or Siberia, and the woman is just like, my stomach, my midriff doesn't get cold, doesn't feel the extremities, like no problem. I'm just like, what is this?
That makes me think of the newer Jumanji.
Yep.
The girls wearing the shorts are short.
Literally, I ranted to my husband the entire way. I love that movie. I thought it was hilarious.
It's so funny.
Like, this is so dumb. Why is this happening?
Why is she not being eaten alive? She's also a ginger in the jungle. You're not getting sunburned? I don't understand.
Yep, she was fine the whole time.
Oh my god, who?
Mhm.
Oh, this brings me again. This brings me back to the Bat Boys with the fan art.
Yep.
If someone recommends one more white person on Book Talk recommends another white person to play Reese, I'm gonna punch somebody in the face. I've had enough of it. God damn it!
It's just,
I'm like, stop it.
It's
God.
all they want is Ian Summerhold.
First of
Is that his
all,
name?
yeah,
That's all they
Ian
want.
Somerhalder. He's
Play
Damon
him
and
from
no one
30
else.
years
All right,
ago.
let him stay home now and make his whiskey and hang out with his children and wife. All right, just let it be. He's Damon. Also, how can some man be so tall but look so short? Is that just me?
No, you're right.
Right? He seems so much shorter than he is. And I just, when I think of Reese, I just think big man.
We just did. Yeah.
do you have
Did you
a,
just-
a person
yes,
in
I
mind?
did, Heather. He's I don't think I'd actually want him. I would want a nobody, but he's a model, a Middle Eastern model, whose name is escaping me. He's so beautiful.
Hmm.
Basically, all the men I have in my head are all Middle Eastern, especially with the way the Night Court first described.
Right. It's very
clothing.
like Arabian Nights.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Especially with the way, though, even though they're up in the mountains, the way that like the architecture is described and things like that. I look at
And
people,
even
I'm
like
how,
her outfits when she's
yeah,
like visiting during her
this is
monthly.
me when I'm on Book Talk. I'm like, stop. I've
Is it?
unfollowed people. I've literally blocked people on Book Talk because they'll there's some white guy who puts on purple contacts and stands
Right.
there staring into the camera with his wet hair, and he has like hashtag Resan. He says like what is it, favorite darling, and everyone in the comments is like, oh my god, this is my Reese, this is my Reese.
According,
And
this
they'll
is
put like
very-
they'll at Hulu, and I'm like, stop, you're gonna get it, Hulu, stupid ass ideas, stop it, stop it.
Oh
Talk about
man.
Akatar. Ugh, I can't.
Yeah.
This is my Reese.
Okay, listen. For obviously, you can get more diversity with indie authors or picking up POC fantasy authors. But like with the really, really popular stuff, when we get the breadcrumbs of POC,
Don't erase it.
I'm like, please don't erase it. Please don't do that to me. Like,
Right,
don't do
right.
that. Don't do that. Please. So that's why I like that change in the Shadow and Bone show.
Mhm.
Where they made Alina
Half
Asian. I really like that change. It worked.
Yeah. There's very, very mixed opinions on that, but
I know.
but you know,
Well, there's a lot of mixed opinions about Loving the Darkling, but here I am.
but here we are.
Here we are. He killed plenty of people. That's okay. We can rule the world together.
But he wore black while he was doing it. I
Yeah.
feel like we should
Okay.
forgive him.
Have you seen him on a horse? He's fine.
Seen him on a horse.
Have you seen the gloves he wears and how he grips things? Okay, Pride and Prejudice.
It's real good. It's real good. Can't lie. Okay. Creator versus creator.
Oh boy.
Let's start with giving credit. Let's just start there. I have seen people who are like, before you post a video, you need to do a search and see if anybody else has ever posted that video before, and then you need to give that person credit. And I'm like, no, I don't, because I didn't get anything from them. I didn't even know of their existence. But if you got the idea from somebody, if you saw it from somebody, if in any way you know who you got it from, it's not hard to say, I got this idea from Jess Owens.
It's like one
It's
sentence.
not like, it's not hard. And if you don't remember, just be like, I saw a few creators doing it. I honestly can't remember, and if you didn't, if you thought of it on your own, because believe me, you can think of something on your own and other people already did it also. They're not mutually exclusive. Then that's fine. Then you don't have to give anybody credit. You don't have to go out of your way to try and find the people who were before you when you literally didn't know of their existence. But people really annoy me when they on purpose don't say it. And I think that sometimes people don't say who they got the video from because they don't want you to know that they follow them, or because other people that they like don't like that person, so they're not going to credit them. I'm about 100% sure I've seen this happening. I'm just like, okay, but like you totally took that from them though. Like not just I think you like this person posted a video and then you did and I assume that you did. Like no, I know you follow them. I know you saw it. I saw your comment. Like I know that you got it from them.
That's me finding out someone's racist on Bookstagram. Like, I saw you like it.
I saw it.
I saw the comment.
Yeah, they're because I'll watch something like I remember watching Jessica from Peace Love Books where she was predicting like the Goodreads romance winners, and I was like, oh, I love that idea. And so then I was like, I got this idea from, and then did it. There's like no rule that says you can't do it, but yeah, don't say like I came up, especially when you literally like I watched it and then I was like, ooh, I'm gonna do it. So it would have been so disingenuous of me to be like, I thought of this all on my own. But I think also with tags, those are usually easy to because the person before usually has it, the person before. But yeah, I have usually if I'm like, ooh, I thought of this. Sometimes I will give a Google to see or look on YouTube to see if anyone else has done it. And if it's like already a popular thing or something, I'll be like, yeah, this isn't like a new idea. I've seen people like do this before. Cause there's usually trends on BookTube. Like everyone will be doing a certain type of video, like reacting to 5-star reviews of books I hated or something.
You don't have to credit people for doing a book haul. Like it's a common thing. Yeah. Like it's a common thing.
Like anyone knows who's the first person who did a book haul.
Right.
God.
Like what? Recommending romance books with shifters. You don't then have to find a list of people who also made that. Not. Like it's just a very general thing.
You would have to be very specific.
That would be like crediting a TBR video. Like, no. Like that's just a staple of BookTube. But a tag or something really unique. It's really simple. So that is so weird. If somebody's like,
I was gonna say I don't think I really gonna do that. I don't think I experienced that at all on Bookstagram. I'm sure someone, even though it is a thing, because there are some people that have come to me complaining about how this other Bookstagrammer stole their idea for their photo. Like, there was someone on Bookstagram I used to be friends with that I'm not friends with anymore. And she used to come to me complaining all the time, like, this person's taking a photo by their window, just like me. I'm like, that's their window. What? And now they started taking a photo by a piano. They stole my idea. I'm like, what the fuck?
How dare you?
Yeah. I can't stand that girl.
But I've seen people steal, like, legitimately repost other people's images. Like, okay, come on.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah.
Yeah. The rest of it, there's so many ways you can photograph a book.
There's one photo I have on my feed that I specifically went in with the intent to recreate it, but she knew, and I tagged her and said it in my post, like, hey, this person inspired me to take this photo. But it still looks different, but it's very similar.
Right. My favorite thing, I know this happens, and whatever, it's fine. Not everybody has to love me. It's okay. Would I like for everybody to love me? Yes. I'd love to be universally worshipped. That would be fantastic.
That would be lovely.
But, it's not going to happen. It's okay. I love when people get their idea from me and they say in their video, I got this idea from Heather at Hia Booktubes because we're friends. And then other people, no. And we are friends. And then other people who don't like me then do the video and say that they got the idea from that person who said that they got it from me, which is totally fine. Like if you didn't get the idea from me, you don't have to cite back five creators back. It's fine. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. Maybe not. I don't know if you know this. But there's like some people who don't like me, which is fine.
You have to text me about it later. Because I feel like, no, but if someone doesn't like you, I feel like something's up because you're one of the nicest people I know. I'm like, what?
They're sus.
Yeah, they are.
There are some people who, if you aren't in their fandom, then, if you're not one of their loyal viewers who read all the books that they recommend and talk about them all the time, then you don't exist, and that's fine. It's
Man, they
fine.
really need to get a hobby.
You can do what you want, but
Damn. How do you not like someone about that? Not the window. I just saw that comment.
Some people are petty. That's fine. Literally, I have a list. I know for a fact that
Listen, I know like 2 people on that list, but like text me later. I want to know.
I know. I want to know. Send me that.
Okay, I will.
I want a list with detail descriptions. Oh, goodness.
Right. Rude. And it's just like, and I do think too that, okay, if you forget to say my name, that's fine. I'm not going to come at you. But like, I feel like the size of your following does play into this, because you'll have people who are 5 times your size claiming to come up with an idea that they got from smaller creators or book recommendations. I discovered this book, or here's an author, maybe this is just me being salty. You guys tell me. But I find this a lot with diverse authors, where it's like they'll go to other people, they'll find their recommendations, and then they'll pass it off as their recommendation, which I'm not saying that they didn't read the book or anything. I'm not saying that. But like they got it from people who go through a lot of different authors trying to find good books, and then they will just claim to have fallen in love with this book. And it's like, but I know where you got that from. I know where you got that from, and you're not saying it.
Yeah. Do you feel like if it's a creator who takes maybe an idea or something that is a verbal enough, or do you think they also need to, because usually, I usually talk about the same people over and over in my videos. Like every time I mention Mara, I don't tag her or like link her channel. But like if I do something like specifically, like I got this idea from, I'm like, and here's their channel, and here's their video. Like usually in the description, like I usually try to do that too.
And I feel like too, if you regularly reference somebody, you don't have to like your mutuals. You don't have to then tag them in every single time.
I don't even say books like, well, I'm like, you should know Mara by now. I've been saying Mara's name every other day.
Right. Yeah, I feel like if someone you talk about a lot, I completely understand not tagging them or something like that.
Right. What do you do when you don't really like a person, but you like their content?
I don't know if I have that problem.
Does this even exist for you?
Like what? No, I'm
trying to think.
Because I don't think so. It's like your content, like it's all a package.
Or maybe you don't even like the content, but like they're reading they're giving the recommendations that you're looking for. But you don't actually like their style or
do it. No.
I don't know. There's like a couple of people, like maybe like a handful. I'm not gonna say names, even though I think I've spoken to you about it, Heather, where they kind of post content I like, but I won't follow them because of the way they look and sound. I'm like, I don't like your face. I'm like, I don't like your face.
I feel like, really bad about it, but I'm just
voices
like,
are my thing.
I'm like, if I look at you and I think, wow, I would have hated you in high school. No, wow.
Like my thing is usually voices. Like there's some people I'm like, dang it, I'm really interested in this content, but it's for audiobooks, for podcasts. Voices have to agree with me, and sometimes they don't. And then also, some people put a lot of music in their videos, like behind the entire thing.
I don't like that.
And depending on it could be still lower, but depending on how hot, like sometimes I can't focus. Like I just can't do it. And I'm like, it stinks because I want to watch this. Like I know people have recommended ContraPoints,
the breathing,
but I can't do it.
I was gonna say, someone said, how can someone not like you guys? A lot of people don't like me.
Well, you see.
I got a big ass mouth. A lot of people don't like me because I will call you out on your bullshit. Like,
But that's
no, I
what
don't have
about
time
being
for
on
it.
like a
Yeah.
visual platform. Some people aren't gonna like your face or how your videos look
What's
or
not
your
to
voice.
like?
I mean, I hate my voice, so I understand if someone don't want to listen to
I
me.
think you have a pleasant voice, and I think you're funny. I think
It's
that was one of my
literally in
favorite
your
things about
head.
you. I think you're funny. I don't know.
But yeah, so I don't watch anyone I don't like. There's people I don't know them, but what I know about them I don't like, and so therefore I
Yeah.
do not watch their videos. Even
Yeah.
if we read similar things, I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm with you in
Right.
there. I feel like with the Bookstagram thing, I feel like in order for me to find out that if I like, because you're going based off pictures and what they're putting in, you know, their caption. I feel like in order for
Right.
me to not like someone on Bookstagram, I either heard stuff about them, I'm finding out they're like super like right winged, or
Right.
they start coming to me in my comments to talk to me, and then I'm like, wow, we're not clicking. You're just coming to me to talk crap. I'm like, I talk crap about the right people, like the people
Right.
that deserve it, not just some random person because you didn't like their photo. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because so there's been plenty
Oh
of
my
people that
God.
come to me and want to be friends, and they like want to talk crap about other people, and I'm like, no, that's not what I'm about. Even though I
Right.
like to talk shit in my stories, it's
I f-
usually about
I just-
problematic people.
I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
it's not like
Mandy's comment is sending me because when I like someone
the
but can't
breathing.
watch them because they don't drink enough water, and all I can hear is their
What?
tongue
What?
sticking from thirst.
This is so real, and I did not realize that was real until you just said this. But yes. I'm like, why is your spit so thick? Drink some water. I don't.
Honey, you
No.
parched?
Oh, that's great.
Now, Mandy, I want to know who you talking about. Who out there that needs a glass of water?
And here's the thing. I won't watch you. Like I'm literally, I am not hyping you in your comments and talking shit about you in my DMs. I'm not doing that.
I know so many. I can
don't
give
watch
you
you
a
or don't.
list. I can give you a list of Bookstagrammers that do that. Oh,
Like,
my God, it's
yeah,
so annoying.
that if I don't like your face, I'm not going to comment, your face looks like a horse. I'm not going to do that. I'm literally just going to click off of your video, quietly go into
Why,
my
your
life.
face?
You never
It's
knew
giving me,
I was
bitch.
here.
I don't want to watch it.
Like,
Exactly. But
like
there's
not
some
everything has to
people who have
vibe.
to
It's
tell
okay.
you. They're
Yeah.
like,
Exactly.
I'm like, you could have saved that. I didn't need to know. You could have just left.
Yeah, just
Maybe
leave. Like,
I don't like how you do your makeup. I'm literally never going to say, I'm sorry, I cannot watch you because of your taste. Like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say
I
anything.
can't look at your stories. Your hair is green. Get out.
I just want you to know, for the thumbnail, I like color clicked your hair in the picture and then like picked that green for like the circles and stuff.
Love it.
I was like, let me match this.
Love it. Not to
Oh
be
my
mean, but I can't watch too many under 23 years old. Listen, I turned 30 this year. Last year. Shit. Fuck. I'll be 31. I can't. Under 25, I'm done. I can't.
Like, I feel like I follow a couple and I love them and I follow them. But
It really
at the same
depends
time,
too.
like it's not being mean.
Isn't Naima like 23?
No, Naima's 19.
Oh my God, Naima, are you still in
baby,
here?
damn,
baby. You're giving me mature. Okay.
Naima is my favorite. I love her so much, and she's like literally over 10 years younger than me, and I'm like,
you'll
it's
keep me
fine.
young. Oh, my best friend, like I literally have like one really good friend in this area. She was like 43 and I'm 30, so like,
Right,
right. Just click.
Kamika.
Like it's again, it's the so other 19-year-olds will follow you. If I don't vibe with you, that's literally no big deal. I'm not your target audience.
Man,
it's fine.
Naima got into that dark romance young.
Naima, she cracks me up. I love her. Naima and Deja. Deja, before she turned 18, she'd always be in like the romance streams, and like because she read romance like fully.
Yeah.
And then be like, you're not 18. Wait, pretend like we didn't say this to you.
I just looked it up
They're like-
because I was thinking about how I used to read when I was younger. Not too much younger, but like when I started to like, heavily get into romance books. So I looked up Priest, which came out in 2015. So let's think about that right then. Back then I was like, no, I won't read that. It's too much for me. That's too much for me. Now I salivate. I'm like, Priest. Oh my God. I love that book.
Your Instagram content was like Priest themed for a solid week. It was just like everything. The posts, the stories, like, all of it.
It's not Father Bell, it's Daddy Bell. Thank you. Thank you.
And like, and Tamika's not 25 either.
Like, Tamika, how old you are?
She's like 23.
Babies. Oh my God.
I'm feeling old.
I feel ancient.
I need a walker.
Like, it's fine. It's all fine.
Yeah. Anytime I see people on book Twitter, they're like, any book Twitter mutuals over 25? And I'm like, I don't want to out myself. But I'm like,
I literally commented on one of those. I was like, I think like everybody I know is over that age, but okay. Yes, we exist.
We're here. That's why I think at this age, I was to say, I actually really enjoy romance books that have older characters.
Yeah.
I'm like getting such an appreciation for it. Give me those silver foxes.
I actually really like Kristen Ashley for that because basically all of her main characters are over 30 and a lot of them are over 40 or older even. Like a bunch that she's written recently too will have like fully adult children, and like one of the books will be about them and one of the books will be about their adult kids.
Well, I bought a bunch of her books because of you, so I gotta read them this year.
But you haven't read them, so
I know. I'm gonna. Okay, you've seen my Goodreads TBR that gives you a freaking aneurysm every time you see it.
She has like thousands of books on her TBR. I'm
literally,
like,
my TBR on Goodreads is like 2,000 books.
God. Mine gets to like 250, and I'm like, ooh, wish. Time to cut it down.
When I think about cutting it down, I start sweating.
I do not let my want to read shelf get to 100. Like, no. Like, if it's in the 80s, I'm like, what the frick? We need to do something about this.
I'm gonna give you the.
If you don't. One,
I'm also 251, so I need to get some off of here. 251.
Because I also use it as a I heard about this really awesome book. Add it. Even if I have no intention of reading it, maybe I want to come back to it. You know, at least my physical TBR is not that way. Okay. Can you imagine? 2,097. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
And there's nothing wrong with there's nothing wrong. Read what you like.
That's Sierra Simone, right?
Mm-hmm. Priest, yes, please read it. And if you read it, I want play by play. Like, I want to hear about the holy oils. You'll know what that means when you read it. Well, just know that when I read it, I literally read it and I was sitting there on the couch and my husband was like, what the fuck? Because I really shouted, not the holy oils.
I literally know about the holy oils because of you and your stories. And I was like, what is happening?
Oh my gosh.
Man. My Goodreads is over 800. Okay,
there is no TBR struggle.
My physical TBR, even my physical TBR, we're not going to talk about it. We're not going to talk about it.
We won't have to
my physical TBR is 0.
Yeah, well,
we like having options.
I was to say,
we can all be together.
Behind me, all these books, I'm not even in my library. This is my bedroom.
Which is fine. Like, you do you, baby. But some of us.
My husband loves books just as much as me, so.
This is what drives me insane, though, is the New Year's resolutions. Where it's like, I'm going to stop buying books. I'm going to read all the books on my TBR shelf. And I'm like, if you were, you wouldn't already have it. Like, it's not as hard as you all make it out to be. You either want to have books, you either want to buy books that you have not read, or you don't. And realistically, unless your TBR shelf is like 12 books, that shouldn't even be your goal because that's clearly not your vibe. If you want to buy books you haven't read, I don't care.
Book
more power to you. I don't care. If I know you, am I gonna talk shit to you? Yes, I am. But
two different hobbies.
That's just like, in my like goals video this year, or that I did at the end of last year, because I did that the year before. I was like, I'm not counting how many unread books I have. I'm not trying to get it below a number. I want to be more like, conscious in my purchasing to make sure, I'm buying things I actually like want in my collection, or like nonfiction books, whatever. But I'm not going to be like, ooh, I need to get this under a certain. It's just stressful for no reason.
Yeah.
I like having options. Book has art, their decor. Okay.
Mhm.
So
one of my goals for this year was to make sure that unless it's a brand new release that I really want, I want to make sure I get all my books secondhand, which so far it's been great. I've been getting used books left and right. I actually got so many like signed books for like $6, not knowing they'd come signed. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I'm like, library. How many books you got in that KU? Or do you buy books or just Kindle Unlimited?
I think you can only have 20 in your library, right? For KU?
Oh, for that, I have like 4 right now. Total on my want to read list that are available in KU, I have 37.
Well, that's really not that much.
No, it's not.
Okay, we can't all be like each other.
Some of us keep it regulated. We like go through and curate.
I love it for you.
I wish I could read like ebook wise. I wish I could read mostly through Libby. God, I feel like I can't find a lot of indie books, and I literally have 4 freaking library cards.
Yeah,
4.
indie is. You either have to get, if it's not on Kindle, you have to buy it.
Yeah.
Which
is books that I buy, ebooks, you are going to see. I have on my list in February, I'm going to do an ebook haul, which is all of the books that I bought since the last one that I did, which was in September. And right now it's at 14 books. All the other
about how many ebooks I buy too
have been from KU or the library. And I haven't even read all those. So like of all the books that I've read, it's not even 14.
Can you guys still hear my dog snore?
Only if you're quiet. I can hear it like right now.
Bree, film the unhaul. I love unhaul videos.
Me too.
Film the unhaul before you take them to the library, please. Thank you.
I mean, she did say that she needed content ideas. So
bam, easy one. I love unhauls and hauls.
Yeah, I really like hauls.
I like unhauls if there's some flavor thrown in there.
Yeah, honestly,
like,
I should start
trash though.
With my stories. I should start showing my unhauls because they're always problematic. Like, oh, I hurt this person's being ass. I sold all my L. Kennedy books like a week ago. Bye.
Well, what did she do? I can't keep up. Romance Landia be having too much for me. I go to Izzy for that.
We've got a lot.
L. Kennedy writes mail, but she's spoken openly about how she refuses to write female because it's just not her thing. And I'm like, okay, so what are you romanticizing gay men?
That's so weird since you have those parts and it seems like it would be easier to.
And then for her hockey series, I've only read the first book, but in her third book, I've been told by multiple people that she relies on stereotypes when it comes to a Cuban character. And I was like, no. As a Latin, I got no time for this. Get out of here. Bye.
As a Latin.
Bye.
Well, my biggest thing with male, I don't think that you can say only cis men can write male, right?
Yeah.
Because I am such a huge believer in that authors should not be forced to be outed in order to be considered legitimate to write LGBTQIA+, right? No, firmly against it. However, I read so little that is just male that I'm going to try that. Like, I don't need to be reading cis white women writing it because I'm literally reading like maybe 4 a year, and those 4 I can read authors that I know are at least queer, right? Not that they have to be cis male at all, but like because male romance is so dominated by white women writing it that like I don't need they don't need my read.
That's
I contribute so little to it.
You don't want to write sapphic romance, but you'll write male.
Yeah, I'm like, I
It's a
feel
very
like
big thing.
I feel like in that case you're romanticizing it.
Yeah, it feels a little sus to me.
And
Sus.
listen, it's not. There's a lot of readers who won't read sapphic. Like they won't read it, and I'm like, look, I am straight. I understand. At the same time, no, like because it's like fetishizing. I'll read
Yeah, if
two
you read
guys,
male but won't read sapphic, that doesn't
right. Like it's a no.
Yeah, I think she was like, I'm uncomfortable writing female, and I'm like,
it would make more sense if you said that. If you were more uncomfortable as a woman writing male, that would make more sense.
There's so many women out there that romanticize
is
men
hot.
with men.
Yeah,
women are beautiful. How is sapphic not hot?
I don't get it.
I think it's internalized.
Afro-Latina, what's up? I got plenty of Afro-Latina cousins.
Punch him in the face, Tamika.
Yes, punch them.
Tamika should.
Just show up at their door. Surprise.
Okay, last thing about creator versus creator, even though we are just all over the place and it's totally fine.
Oops.
Are your fellow creators your coworkers? Do they need that same level of professionalism, or is it like, if I don't like you, I can tell the entire internet I don't like you and your content is garbage? So
trash.
Where do you fall?
It's the facial comments for me. Comments. Facial, whatever.
I mean, I don't think it would be in good taste if you didn't like someone to like. If it was just for some arbitrary reason and not for like a good, like, oh, this person is being legit hateful and blah blah blah, and you just like, this person's raggedy ass bitch. I don't know if that's again what group chats are for. For that petty shit that nobody does not need on the TL. Yeah. But you're like, girl, every time she say this word, she say it like this and that get on my nerves.
I want to be in your group chat now.
There's multiple. But yeah. So unless it's something, my face be telling it all, Lord. There's this guy on TikTok. I love him. He always ends his TikTok with "love you, bye." But he said, if I don't like you, my face gonna tell you. I can't hide it. And I was like, I
feel that. I feel like when it comes to not liking people, the only time I'm going to talk about it in my stories is if they did something like messed up. Mm-hmm. And we've spoken about that before. If they did something racist, homophobic, etc., I'm going to call you out because I feel like I have to. Even though my platform isn't like huge, I just feel like I need to let my fellow book lovers know, like, hey, don't follow this person because they a piece of shit.
Right.
But at coworkers, I'd say no, because I feel like if I didn't have a Bookstagram, I wouldn't have as many, friends. I've made so many great friends through having a Bookstagram, and I feel like you could be friends with a coworker, but I feel like you said before, there's like a level of professionalism you have with a coworker, and I feel like, I don't know. I feel like so many of my Bookstagram friends are just like, man, I gotta meet you in person. Like, Jess, why you all the way up in Sicily? I don't know why I said up, you're not up, but whatever.
I know. I so many people I've like known, communicated through the internet for years, and I'm like, one day,
tell your man to get stationed somewhere else.
I am in real life. See how awkward I am in real life. Like,
Nigel will be your buffer.
Yes. Books and waffles. Books and waffles.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Books and waffles.
Okay. Love that. That sounds good.
She's awesome.
You
guys should follow her. She's a really small creator.
I heard vibe is hot as hell.
She's like twice my size, but whatever. It's a really small creator. It's fine.
That white.
I just approve of the name.
Am I stupid? What does LI stand for? Acronym.
The love interest?
Oh, the white love interest. I'm sorry, I'm slow.
I didn't
speak Spanish and Cuban or Mexican food that when they could have been just Cuban or Mexican. Yep.
That's a great shirt.
Okay,
my mouth don't tell you, my face will love it.
Amen.
This is Tamika's vibe. Are her recommendations trash? Yes, they are, but she is a
Or
lovely person.
I also hate
to get so wrong.
this is too about that book life. I also hate when authors will have that token Latin and they're saying like coño like every other minute or something like that. I'm like, oh, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's I don't know. For me, like really over explaining things is a children's book thing. Like you are because they haven't come across these words before. I feel like after that, it's like
I can understand if
you know
it's
how the internet works.
a POC author doing it. Sarah Smith, I don't know if anyone here has read her. Most of her characters, the females especially, are Filipinos, such as herself. And she will explain food and things like that. And I remember being on my phone, like Googling how this food looks. And I was like, I'm so hungry.
Right.
Yeah. So I get it if like a POC does it. But if the white person, I'm like, stop it. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. Shut up.
I feel like it does depend on who you're writing for.
Yeah.
If you are writing for people who already know your culture, then don't explain it. Go for your target audience. And if somebody reads it and they don't understand, they can either leave you a bad review, which is garbage, or they can look it up, right? Or they can just keep on reading, not understanding quite what you're referencing.
One star.
But it depends on who you're writing for. So annoying.
I couldn't relate.
So annoying.
Sometimes I'm sorry, but I can relate to a 7-foot freaking
blue
fae.
One of the things I sometimes actually kind of panic about, it's fine. Sometimes I panic about recommending Black love books with AAVE because I'm like, what if people then like give them really bad reviews because they didn't use proper English or whatever? I'm like, I would feel so bad if somebody got the rec from me and then was like an a-hole. But then I'm like, well, those people probably aren't picking up my Black love recommendations anyway, so.
I feel like most people who are following you to, get their shit together.
I don't know. People suck, but it's fine. What are you gonna do? Nothing. Okay. Readers versus author. I can't believe we're already like an hour and 40 minutes in, but
we're enjoying
it. I'm having a great time.
I told you I like to talk.
So I might like turn off my camera, but
here. When you have me here, the talking just commences.
I'm happy to have you here. So,
but creator versus author. These authors need the hate.
Let's start with the most controversial. What can an author defend themselves for? Or not, because I feel like it's almost up to personal opinion whether they're allowed to defend themselves or whether it's like stay out of reviewer spaces. For me, it's like if somebody is saying something that is inaccurate to the book, or it's like, or again, I feel like this happens a lot for BIPOC authors where it's like you literally don't understand the reference and you're spreading this information about something that you did not understand. I feel like they're allowed to say, actually, the book is XYZ. But when it's like, you didn't like their book, I don't feel like they're allowed to defend that.
I have a really great appreciation for authors that actually take the time to correct readers when, like you said, did not read something correctly. I'm sorry. The MC was constantly mentioning white fetish.
Didn't like it.
Which book? Let me know which book it was.
The first one?
I don't know if I read her first book ever. The first one I read was that one that takes place in Hawaii. Like with me, I often complain about book art. I like it when authors take the time to be like, no, that's not how my characters look.
Right.
What author does that? She is a POC, right? Ugh. Now I need to look on my Instagram. But
that's funny. Annoying, but funny.
I feel like So I mean, honestly,
in the book, they were like, which means grandma.
I think if you don't know what abuela means, where are you? Are you under a rock?
That's like what I'm thinking. Like
were you watching Encanto? Like, what's happening? What does tío mean?
Never
I love
heard
that
of
movie.
it.
I can't lie.
What can they speak out on?
Well, like I mentioned with the Scarlett Sinclair thing, like calling an author out for putting like a mid-sized or plus-size character in their book and then backtracking with the art. I'm like, are you doing it for shits and giggles? You know, I think Scarlett Sinclair was plus size at one point, and then she had like, if you go back into her Instagram, you can see like she started doing like a weight loss thing. I don't know if maybe she has like this unhealthy image of how she used to look, and she puts it into her books, because all authors put themselves in their books. That's why I feel like you cannot make author and book separate. Authors are putting themselves in their books. I'm like, is it because of that? Are you just, what is it? Or like with JLA making Poppy plus size, but then artwork doesn't show it. I'm like, are you just putting it in the book because you want those viewers? And then you don't want the skinny people to get mad with the artwork? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, look at Encanto, for example. Luisa is one of the most popular characters, and she buff. She can kick
I
my
haven't
ass,
watched
and I say thank
Encanto
you.
yet, and I
my
know
God.
who Luisa is.
First of all, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
I know I need to watch it.
I've only watched it 2,600 times this week, so that's not counting the soundtrack. But you know, like, oh my goodness.
I feel like if they're, because I don't know, even if an author says maybe they don't read reviews, I feel like some of them do. And if there's like a consensus that keeps coming up from people reading the book with like an issue, maybe it's of representation of a group, or of any kind of neurodivergence or something like that, or just some common thing that people keep having an issue with, I feel like that's usually a good time if you're paying attention and
like that
hearing
author,
a lot.
what's her name? Chloe Liesel, is that how you say her last name? Where she had a character in her book who, I haven't read it. He had, my God, he was okay. He was deaf, but it wasn't portrayed correctly. And consensus from readers like, hey, you didn't do this correctly. So she fixed it and then re-released it. Yeah, I like that. Yeah. Or then you have authors like Jay Christopher, like, I'm gonna ignore it. You know, I'm like, how? Oh, God.
He's like, 10 years has gone by. Let me say something very vague. And keep on keeping on. Keep on keeping on. But yeah, if there's like, because I remember this was last year with like Steven Erikson, who writes adult fantasy, and he would go under people's videos on YouTube and make comments. Like, I don't think that, unless
especially when you're a pretty well-known fantasy author, like, I think I can understand if maybe like an indie author is tempted to look at reviews because you're smaller and you're not as well known, but like,
you want to know.
I can understand the temptation, but if you're a big author, what are you doing?
I don't. And he would go on these like long.
Jay Kristoff is crusty.
But yeah, just like you pop up on or like what happened with what's her face, Elin Hildebrand or something. She was searching the hashtag of her name on Instagram and then saw someone gave her book 3 stars or something and like got all mad. Like, no,
I remember that.
You don't get to do that either. No. So unless someone's like literally broadcasting something about you that's a complete lie about like your person, or you hear like a general conversation happening and you want to make or like Sylvia Moreno Garcia replied to someone who was saying her representation in Mexican Gothic was like harmful or something with the way they reacted to someone having epilepsy, I think. I can't remember. And she was like, I'm not trying to encourage people to do that. This book took place in the 50s in Mexico. This is like, so maybe sometimes like that. I think it
depends on
it depends. And authors with social media, there's these boundaries that are on social media. We're on social media. So it has to be like
it's so easy to just do a quick type.
To be like, that's not it.
Yes. Who just said that?
Yeah, it's kind of like bloodletting in like historical romances. Yeah, there would have been bloodletting. That doesn't mean we're going to ignore a couple hundred years of science, although
Yeah.
here we are.
I mean, way back in the
middle of
day, one of their
community.
healing techniques was blowing smoke up your ass. Like, literally.
Yeah,
Like,
like
what?
it was
What
it was
doctor?
like have a chicken foot or
Some birds peck at your
or
skin.
you have a cough. Here's some cocaine syrup.
Yeah,
Like
do some cocaine about
Yeah.
the things that
It matters. The context is a
yeah, your
historical word.
context matters.
Yeah, and how it's written. So
Here's one. I don't think you're gonna know about her, Jess, because you know, not that you're new to romance, but I feel like Heather and I are deep. We're deep. Deveni Perry. She had that whole
I think I've
series
heard the name.
with like Gypsy King, Gypsy this, Gypsy that, and she was called out numerous times, would delete comments, but then she finally responded to the comments and said that it takes some time to change the names, things like that. But she did change the names of all her books. And I'm like, how do I feel about this? She did change the names. She didn't have to, but you did delete comments and block people. So I'm like, which one is it? Were you just being defensive at first? Like, I would love to, like, I'm like,
Right. Because
I'm like,
sometimes your initial reaction can be
yeah,
defense. It can be being like, no. And that's where a lot of people get into trouble, is when people call them out and they immediately answer in response during the defense stage.
Yeah, I'm like, you guys need to take a step back immediately and just think.
You need to think about what you're doing here, because none of us like being told that we're wrong or that we're part of the problem. We don't like it. But
that's our spouses.
We're all gonna be there at some point. And again, it's not so much about the error. You don't have to know everything. For instance, I'll just tell you guys, I really loved the series All the Pretty Monsters, I think, by Christy Cunning, which the author has actually passed away. So, you don't have
he has that, I was to say that slur in one of her titles, right?
All of the titles. All of the titles are Gypsy Blood, all of the things. And I loved that series. And I was recommending it. I was in all my wrap-ups. It was, honestly, it was a genius series. Like, it was all based in, not mythology, but like folklore, fairy tales, that type of thing. And it was a paranormal. It was very interesting. However, in the books, it specifically says, some people don't like being called this word, but we're fine with it. However, the author wasn't Romani. Yeah. She was white. And so clearly she did enough research, one, to do all of these different characters based in folklore. She did enough research to know that some people didn't like that word, and she still used it extensively throughout all of her books, and she used it in all of her titles. When I then found out from Izzy from Happy for Now. She did a video, and I think she might have even been talking about me, to be perfectly honest. Which was fine. But she was like, Gypsy is a slur. You guys shouldn't be using it. I was like, oh.
Yeah, because it's so
and then
common.
I looked it up. And then I stopped recommending that book series.
It's a common thing to use in America in the wrong way. There was this very big bookstagrammer I stopped following because she is friends with Deveni Perry. And I remember telling her, like, hey, you keep recommending this book. Gypsy is a slur. Like, maybe mention it to the author. She kept telling me, mention it to the author, mention it to the author, mention it to the author. And I was like, yeah, but you're friends with her. Wouldn't it be better coming from you? And she just 100% ignored it. She was like, I've done my research. And I'm like, I hate that word. Right. You don't know what research is, Mrs. Academia.
I can tell you, based on doing my research, a 2-second Google search will tell you that you shouldn't use the word gypsy.
She's like, only certain people don't like it. And I'm like, please stop.
It's one of those, for me, I was like, okay, so now everybody likes it. All right. But can you imagine using any other slur in the title of your books and considering
That's what I said.
Fine.
Like I said, it's a racial slur.
Would
You're not going to go around saying like the N-word. And she was like, it's not the same.
Right.
I'm like,
it is the same. It's just that their group of people was almost wiped off the face of the earth. There's not as many of them to give voice to it. Right.
I've had white people try to tell me how spick is not a slur. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And sometimes we're later to learning things like what Mandy said. Like I had known the word gypsy was like, I had learned that a few years ago, but didn't even correlate it to the being gypped. And like,
Yeah.
then I saw that and I was like, oh, wait. And like, so it's fine. You, like you said before, you can't know everything.
You
Like,
can't know
even
it.
the
But if somebody
simplest,
tells you,
yeah,
listen.
like somebody could think, well, how did you know this was, I didn't put them together. So you got to be like, okay, I'm sorry.
Right.
And so maybe some people aren't going to believe you, but it's okay to be wrong.
You
I mean, I hate being wrong.
You don't know what you don't know. It's as simple as that. But how you react after you find out
Mhm.
matters. And yes, like there will be people, I'm sure, who did grow up using slurs, right? But
Mhm.
at some point you chose. At some point you
Yeah.
chose to continue or not to. And you know what? If you honestly had no, if that word was just part of your vocabulary, because these things can exist, a word was part of your vocabulary and you did not know that there is a reason why you should not be using that word. I believe you. If the second you find out you no longer use it, then yeah, then I believe you that you did not know. But if you're just going to double down,
Yeah.
no.
People love to. Speaking of what we were just talking about with L. Kennedy, I just saw this tweet. And it's from it's they cracked me up. And they said, I have a question, and don't fight me because I know how you girls love to whimper at an ounce of pushback. But what do women gain from exclusively and solely writing erotica and romance about queer men? And I was like, well, how timely? How timely is that? Because I would love to know. I just
Right.
find it odd.
Which
It's
like
sus.
obviously you are going to have trans men who are not out and stuff. So again, I'm not going to be like you don't have the right parts or whatever. Like
Damn,
I'm
Catherine, where you living?
not going to demand that people tell me their sexuality in order for me to read their book. I am not going to do that.
No.
At the same time, like I said, I'm not reading enough of it to where it's like I have to branch out because I'm reading all of the authors that I know identify this way. I'm already caught up on all their backlist. I don't read enough of it to be like that. So like I can just read people that I know identify as own voices, basically, even though they're not using that because it's been so hijacked.
Sadly, yes. Yeah. But they were like, if a cis man wrote nothing but sapphic, often toxic relationships, I'd rightfully have criticism or at least the very least some questions to answer. It would feel like fetishization, obsession. I don't get it. Which, yeah, it's just like, if
That's
you do
why
it.
I was to say
Yes.
L. Kennedy immediately when I heard that, I was like, so you're fetishizing men with men. So,
Right. Exactly.
who writes Red, White, and Royal Blue? I still haven't read that yet.
Casey McQuiston.
I heard that's really good.
People love it.
Yeah, a lot of people like it.
But I'm like, it's a Gina's level of spicy.
Probably not.
No, probably not.
What is a reader entitled to from an author?
In like what context? Like what we expect them to write, or
Let me say that not really anything, but as a fantasy fan, I feel entitled to George R. Martin to
you're not
finish
getting
my
that book.
goddamn
You're not
series.
getting that book. You're not getting it.
Just kidding. I'm not entitled to that, but I'm always going to bring that up when that's right.
Always.
First of all,
But really, you're not. I think you're
didn't
just
he say-
entitled to, I guess, just, I don't know. Honest. I don't even know. I got to think about it now.
Listen, when I'll never understand this. It's
Say
like
it.
with Shadow and Bone. She's misusing Russian words. It's so confusing. Like literally, Grisha means
The
Gregory.
Gregs.
Like, if you don't want to do the research, totally fine. I don't want to do the research at all. But then just
That's
skip
why I
it.
don't write
Just
books.
skip it.
It sounds stressful, but still.
Why are
Yeah.
y'all so hateful? Do not do this. Okay, I can't give up hope.
Well, didn't he say that it's gonna end just like the show did? If so, I'm so sorry.
No, he said no. He wrote a blog. This is what makes me mad is he got on after the show ended, wrote these blog posts about how the story there's still stuff that's different and blah blah blah, and it's gonna like George. What are you gonna do?
He's gonna die, and you're not gonna get it.
Okay. Someone had a theory. I saw this on TikTok, and they were like, "I think the books are finished, and he's just gonna have them published after he dies, so he doesn't have to hear anything."
That's the way to go out.
And I'm like, I could see that.
The way that wouldn't even shock me.
But the saddest thing about this was I was in a Half Price Books years ago, and I was in the fantasy section, and this older man was looking at George R.R. Martin books, and we were talking about Game of Thrones, and he was like, I don't know, maybe in his 50s, and he was like, I'm just scared that the series isn't going to be finished before I die, and that moment has just stuck with me, and I'm just like, George, you bastard.
Did you just call the 50s an older man?
No, I said he was in his 50s. That's older.
I take offense.
You're not 50?
I'm not. No, obviously I'm not 50. However, when I'm 55, I'm not going to be an elderly lady. No.
I didn't say elderly. I said older.
Aren't we considered elderly when we're like having babies in our 30s?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Geriatric.
That won't be me.
Pregnancy.
Geriatric pregnancies. That won't be me.
Listen, this is why I don't think I'm going to have a fourth, because if some freaking Joanne tells me this is a fucking old lady pregnancy, they could get punched in the throat.
Yeah, I'm not having any in my 30s.
I love that George has been working on other projects. Zoe, I disagree. Just kidding. But I mean, I know that as an author, like with Patrick Rothfuss, he has every right to take as long or never publish that third book. But that's why I'm not starting that series, because I've had my heart broken before.
That's why I won't start it either. Everyone keeps telling me you should read it, and I'm like,
that. What's the other one by Scott Lynch? That's supposed to be 7 books, and there's 3 out. No,
I gotta read more Brandon Sanderson, but every time my husband keeps telling me, like, read Mistborn. I'm like, the more you tell me, the less I want to do it.
Randy Sandy has so many. I don't know, that man is always writing, but I guess really readers aren't entitled to anything.
No,
except that the author is, not plagiarizing and is not being a piece of trash when they're writing, I guess.
Okay. So here's the thing, though.
I was gonna say the only thing I think that readers are entitled to is if you're writing about someone's race that is not your own or culture, that you do it properly and you don't half-ass it,
Right. But I follow a lot of authors on Twitter, and I've seen many times from many different sized authors about readers just being the worst to them and being like, when is this book coming out? Why are you writing that book and not this book? Nobody wants to read that book. These are my characters. Why aren't you giving me more of this? I want more of these. Even like authors like Katie Roberts, she'll talk about this. She does not like to write more than one book about the same group of characters. She has officially decided it's not for her. She gets burnt out on it. She really doesn't like it. One book per character group.
What about
but
that?
People will be like, no, like we demand that you give us more of this. And she's like, I'm never giving you more of this because you're being an a-hole. Like, I'm not going to write what you want when you are like being the worst.
Did you see in my stories when I shared that email that Runix got?
Yes.
Unbelievable.
I don't remember what it said, but
it was
I remember us talking though.
I couldn't believe it. They were like, well, I read Gothicana and it was a little too vulgar for me. Maybe your book would be better if you took all that out. Take away the romance. I'm like, she's a romance author. Are you stupid?
Right.
Take away the romance.
It's not even vulgar. Honestly, that really is not a vulgar.
It's really literally just average. Yeah. Like it's nothing like, oh, that was extreme.
I would say the biggest thing about Gothicana is the vibe, the gothicness, if you will. But to Catherine, who DNF'd Mistborn, if you DNF Mistborn, do not read Elantris, okay? Don't do that.
No. Yeah.
Do not read Elantris. Listen, that put me... This is why I put off Mistborn for so long, is because I read Elantris first, because I have to read things in order. That put me in a year-long book slump.
That is some bullshit.
I want to die.
That is...
What?
So I'm saying people are the worst. The
But yeah,
worst.
the fact that anyone would go and email an author and be like, "You're not doing it right." Like, excuse me, are you an author?
I know I told you, Gina, there was like a big YA author, I think, that shared on Twitter. Somebody emailed them. You might have even covered this. I don't remember. Somebody emailed them and was like, I love your books, but if the main character wasn't Black, then more people would love your books.
Literally,
And you're
go F
such a
yourself.
good writer. And I love your books and I want more people to love them. So maybe if you considered not,
You ever
not
think
do it.
like
It's
how
like
these people have
that's the whole
survived through
point of
life?
the book.
I'm like, how did these people go through life not getting punched? Like maybe that's what they need, a good punch.
Legitimately.
And,
I'm like,
you know,
has nobody ever enacted violence on you because of your mouth? Because you need it. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but
I'm so confused.
there are
human. You send them straight to the sun.
so
Yeah.
many lines.
It was Caitlin
Cross.
Barron. Mhm.
Yes. I thought it was this, which I don't read
Most
a lot of
beautiful
YA
cover
anymore,
ever.
But it's just
People
like,
are
I
the
gotta
what,
fucking read
audacity.
this.
what are you with your whole chest? With your whole chest, you're
Makes
just
me
like, hi.
Listen,
I'm not racist, but I think the racists would like your book more if maybe you just
listen.
put white
Speaking
people
of
in it.
racists, even though this is a little off topic, my friend who lives in Ottawa she didn't send it to me, but she posted about it. It was like a pickup truck with Confederate flag on it in Ottawa, Canada. I'm like,
Yeah.
Confederacy up there? What?
Right.
Excuse me? What is going on with humans? Where is the meteor? Just crash down and just start fresh, please. Have personally explained the process to you, Deborah. I love it. Love it. Deborah, Karen's. I'm so sorry if anyone in this chat named Karen or Deborah.
You know,
it's
we
not my
don't
fault.
mean you.
Your mother named you that.
Yeah.
Right. And here's the thing. I mentioned this last week. I message authors for my anticipated releases video. Authors that I already have some sort of vibe with, right? And I'm like, hey, if you have a book coming out this month, I want to make sure to include it. But if an author, okay, Christina C. Jones, love her, 2 literal pieces. She's like my favorite. She said in October or November, one of those months, that she was coming out with the Predators MC novel. Didn't come out with it. That's totally fine. Then she said she was going to in January. Now it's coming out in February, and it's going to be a duet. But she said that like she put it down. She wasn't vibing with it. Something was off. She needed, to write other stuff. And then on top of that, she's been sick and stuff. Like, and even if I didn't know any of that, I still wouldn't be mad that now it's pushed to February. Like, authors are humans with schedules, with things that get in their way, seasons of life that make it difficult to write.
Children, other jobs.
Yeah.
Like literally, if your book gets pushed off, okay. Like, all right, then I guess I'm going to be happy that month when it comes out. I'm never going to be even mad in my mind, much less say something. I'm never going to be mad that the book got delayed, because I would rather have a book that I enjoy 6 months from now than have you put it out when you knew it wasn't ready, but you had no choice. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't understand people literally just sending so much hate to someone who writes stories that they love.
Yeah, like,
you're a fan of them.
I'm like, are you trying to make them hate their fans so they don't write the book? I don't get it.
Literally.
This one has a sorry, Jess.
Right. But you don't email them and be like, you are the scum of the earth because your book's not out yet.
People are bold, and I'm like, man, you need to take it down 25 notches, please.
So much so. Right.
Oh, you know how many times I've gotten this? You'd be so much prettier if you didn't wear all that makeup. Literally, go fuck yourself, okay? I wear makeup because I like it, bitch. It's not for you.
Yeah.
It's for me.
And like, who are you? I don't know you.
You'd be so much prettier if you had your natural hair color. Well, my natural hair color, I think, is boring, so I want my hair to be a freaking highlighter.
Who said this ain't natural, bitch?
Maybe I'm a smurf.
Right.
Shit.
Yes.
Right. Like, I don't mind. Like, whatever it is.
But this is also why I do not read series unless they're completed.
Oh, see, I don't.
Yeah. I'm trying this year not to do that, especially since I'm gonna start annotating. Like I'm trying to get into annotating so that I can go back and be like, here's my refresher. So that when another book comes out in a series, there you go, and I'll have to reread. There's so many books out there. I don't want to always be rereading.
So just to read the
there
next
is.
book.
No.
I will just stumble around in the dark. Do I remember who this character is?
I like
no,
my
but
7-foot
I'm not
blue
rereading.
Alien. My 7-foot blue alien with ridges on his wing. We'd love to see it. Yeah. Ruby Dixon, damn girl, she writes a lot. I was gonna say Sylvia Moreno Garcia. I swear to God, she's pumping out a book like every other month. I'm like, Jesus Christ, another one? The hell are you doing at home? She's writing so many.
Which some people write, I'm like,
you got a lot of stories going off in your head.
Yeah, which is amazing.
It is. Be so much prettier if you don't have tattoos. Yeah, hello, what's up? You kidding me? My mother-in-law was like, it really takes away from your wedding rings that you have tattoos on your fingers. I'm like, I don't give a shit. I didn't ask for your opinion.
Yeah. Yes.
I remember I was working in college. Yes. I worked at a coffee shop, and this old lady, I shouldn't even call her old. She wasn't even that old, but she came up to me and she was like, I don't mean to offend. I was like, there's that.
Oh, God.
Stop right there.
Stop right there. Offend.
I don't mean to offend, but why? And I was like, why what? Why do you have all that? Your tattoos? I was like, because I like it. Is that a hard concept? I like it, so I do that.
It is a hard concept. They're just like, your body is please not a
or the ones. Oh, I love the ones that are like, does your skin feel different? Can I touch? And go ahead and just touch my skin. I'm like, ew, get away from me. Get out of here.
Like, there's been tweets that's like, your body is a temple. No, I eat Taco Bell. My body is a dumpster. Okay.
I just had a bacon, egg, and cheese this morning. Okay. I do not respect myself.
There was I don't know if you know her on Instagram. What is her name? Charlene. She's like a comedian. And she was making a video and she was like, when you started with, I don't mean any harm.
She's the one that does mean harm. If white people were the minority, those videos.
No, this is her different. She does like this old black, like kind of
my
church
mom
lady.
Is the biggest hater when it comes to my tattoos. It's so anytime my mom tries to complain about my tattoos, I'm like, did you tell my brother this? She's like, no. And I was like, then shut up.
Yeah. When I got this, my mom was like, don't show it to me. I'm like, we video chat, so I'm not like just in the like this. I'm like, you won't see it.
Sounds good, Catherine.
Did she? Yes. Parents are just so haters. I'm like, you don't have to get one.
Meanwhile,
my body.
Here I am with my children. I'm like, do you want tattoos when you turn 18?
Yeah. We can go together.
I'll take you. Or, I think I let my son, when he asked me if he could have like a funky hair color like me, he was like 6. I was like, yeah, let's do it. Just dye your hair purple. What's up?
Literally, like let kids hair. It's not permanent.
Back.
Let them play
out.
around with their hair. They're 7 years old. Who fucking cares?
In the area I live in, there's so many women, especially mothers, obviously, that come up to me and like, I love your hair. I wish I could do that. I was like, who said you can't? Go home. I was like, especially if they're blonde, I'm like, go home and dump some red hair dye in your hair and call it a day. Like, just do it.
Right. He has permanent stickers.
Yes. Yeah. Can I get a tattoo that just says permanent sticker? I like that. I actually I texted my because I like dark humor. I texted my brother-in-law yesterday. I was like, I found out a new tattoo I want, a new idea. And he was like, what is it? I was like, I want to get a tombstone that says happy to be here. And it's funny as a younger mother, because I have a 10-year-old who's literally going to be 11 in May. Or I should say a mother, because at 30 that's a normal age to have children now. But he has developed that millennial dark humor at 10 years old. He'll say things and I'm like, don't do that at school, okay? Don't do that at school.
That's for at home.
This is for at home. This is an at home joke. Okay,
we have that conversation as well.
I don't need your teacher calling
teacher being like, excuse me, did you know what your son said today? Like, oh yeah, bad. Don't say that.
No, exactly. Just like, yeah. No. Oh, all right. Very last thing. How much does an author's online presence affect you wanting to read them or not?
I feel like with indie authors, it's a big thing having them having an online presence. That's how you find out about them in the first place.
And their new
Right.
releases.
Yeah. I gotta
So-
the amount of indie authors I follow on Instagram just to fucking keep up. I feel like more popular authors, none of them have an online presence, like at all.
Or it's very limited. Like
Yeah.
Sarah J. Maas only posts when she has to. It's probably
Yeah, like
something
where,
her contract
where
is
is
like,
she
"You got a
at?"
book."
I don't remember what she looks like anymore.
Yeah.
Which
But like, yeah, indie authors, I follow like indie romance authors and stuff on like Twitter. But for the most part, I no longer like I don't like following people that I want to consume like something from for the most part. If they're like, or like Lee Bardugo will post once in a blue moon, but like people I'm like, all right, I just don't need to know some things about you anymore. I'm gonna just stay over here. So for me, usually less is better.
Megan March. Oh God. She had so many like books I liked, and then she posted like an
Yeah.
anti-masker thing, and I was
It's
like,
been,
"Thank
like-
you,
Yeah.
you ruined
It's so
everything."
funny as like a young reader, you know, I was like reading all this, oh my God, authors. And then now that we have like social media, and at first I was like, oh my God. And like, you know what? Maybe I don't need to follow all y'all. I could just read this book. But yeah,
There's
indie,
certain
I think, is super
authors
important.
I will DM to talk to, and like I have to really love their book. So like
Mhm.
Runix, I'm like, girl, your book. If Sierra Simone, does she respond to DMs? I will message her about this.
Yeah, like I will tag sometimes. Oh yeah, I've heard that, but you know, no confirmation. Like if I rave about a book, like I read a book and I loved it, and I tagged Christina Lauren on Twitter, and they're like, and they replied, and I'm like, oh, that's nice, and then that's it. But
Yeah.
other than that, some people, you know, love to tag authors and
I-
negative reviews.
Yeah,
and-
that's
Yeah.
stupid. I got really happy when Penelope Douglas started following me on Instagram. I was like, I feel so special.
yeah.
I was like, I love Corrupt.
But yeah, the more indie, I think, because they write way more frequently and
Yeah,
don't
like
always
one a
have
month,
like a
one every couple
dedicated
months.
like this book is coming out at this time. So that's a great way to keep up with them. And I found other authors through following other indie authors, just like people who, you know, maybe might be like writing buddies or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, but other traditional ones, I feel like because they have the traditional house that pushes their books, so it might pop up on Epic Reads or all these other publishing things.
I feel like I don't really follow like big names unless
Yeah.
I
I feel
really
like
love them. I
the
don't
biggest
really-
name author that I follow is Courtney Milan. Like I don't follow.
Oh yes, yeah.
I don't
Mhm.
follow many
I
traditionally
mute
published.
of the ice skating words. I was like, I love you, Courtney, but I don't care about figure
You
skating.
muted it.
Just some of the
funny.
words because
She like gives a
sometimes
warning. She's like, you might want to mute.
That's
for
the
like
best
the
part.
next
What
month.
Tamika just said, like, you know, when you really love an author and you get to talk to them on Instagram, and then you guys are talking and you actually feel like you've become friends.
Yeah.
Like, this is awesome.
I have a lot of mutuals that are authors. Jessica
Like, if an author gives
Gaziella,
me a time of day,
obviously.
I'm like,
Avita Weiss,
yeah.
Elsie Winters.
you know what's funny? Evita
Like,
Weiss.
there are people I talk to.
I haven't read her books yet, but I noticed that she followed me on Instagram like a while ago. And I was like, oh, you're Evita Weiss? I was like, actually reading her books. Like she's
I
been
can't
following me for a
believe you
long
haven't
time.
read it yet.
I know, I
can't
will.
believe
I
it.
will. Listen, you should be happy that in December I read The Headmaster, and I regret not reading that sooner. That book
I
was
was
so
happy.
good.
I was happy that you read The
God damn, that book was
Headmaster.
good.
But now you need to read Feed. If Feed is not your vibe, I will
It will be. I
eat
know it
a
will
makeup
be.
brush. I don't know. Like it is your vibe. You are going
I
to
know
love
it
it.
is. Then I'll have a new obsession.
The tattoos
don't need no
alone
more.
should be enough for you.
God, the list of my fictional husbands and wives and everything in between, gender
Right.
fluid.
Which, like, I am not annoyed if an author doesn't answer me or doesn't comment on the thing I tag them in or any of the things. Because I'm only tagging authors in, like, hey, I loved this book, right?
Yeah, I would marry
nothing
this book
less
like
than I
Yeah,
loved it.
I don't even like if I tag unless I'm saying 5. I won't even say. I'm just like, oh my god, amazing, loved it. Everyone should
Right.
read. I don't even if I was like, ooh, I'm giving this 4 stars. I'm not tagging the author. If I'm giving 100% just glowing praise is the only
Yeah.
time I'm going to tag somebody, and I need people to learn.
And like
Yeah, I don't know
when
how
I
you
did
be tagging
my
someone.
when I
with
did
that
my
name.
end of the year list, I tagged like all the authors, which I never do. But I'm like, your book was one of my favorites of the year. You're one of my favorite new to me authors of the year. I'm going to tag you and let you know, especially since the majority of them are indie authors. And like, what lists are they going to show up on? Not very many. So I'm like, hey, you were on my best of the year list. I just want you to know that. I'm going to tag you in my, and that's it. And if you don't repost it in your stories or anything, I don't care. That doesn't make you suddenly, she's a bitch. Like,
that might point somebody to their account and then be like, oh, well, this person was in their best of the year, so let me check them out.
Right. Like, for me, the author-reader mutual thing is they wrote a book and I loved it. And they don't owe me anything more than that. You already gave me a book that I loved. Thank you. Like, you don't have to give me more than that. But at the same time, if we are like becoming mutuals, that makes me so happy. Especially when it's like I love their books, but also I love their Twitter feed.
Yeah.
Like, they're witty people.
I need to become more active on Twitter. It's just that every time I go on Twitter, I'm like, I feel like I'm 80 years old and I don't know how to use technology. Like, I honestly am like, what the fuck's happening?
It's pretty, I mean, Twitter's pretty simple. You just gotta kind of curate who you're following so that it's not
it takes a minute though. Like, it takes a minute.
But yeah, what you were saying before, like again with Runix and talking to her, there's certain things she's told me about, like things she's gonna write and stuff like that. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so excited. Thank you. Or like I've had, like, for example, Emma Ham. I remember she has a book that's coming out this month. She showed me the cover for that book like way months in advance, and I was like, thank you for trusting me with this. Yeah. So you know, I love that.
It is fun. Plus, like, again, I don't ever expect an author to respond to me. If I end up in their message request folder and they never click that, that's okay. It's fine. I'm not going to stop reading your books. But at the same time, a lot of authors will steer clear of their reviews and stuff. So sometimes they need that feedback that, hey, I love your book. I think you're amazing. I think that, like, your writing is phenomenal. I don't think they get that as much as sometimes we think they get that.
Yeah. I've seen authors say, like, with praise like that, like, they love hearing, you know, an email or something because, and I'm sure they're in their head as any other person, they get imposter syndrome and think, you know, maybe my stuff isn't great. So when someone really loves their stuff, especially as an indie author, I'm sure they love, even if they don't get the time to reply or something, they still may read it and be like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Right. And even like Kaylee Robert has talked a lot about how when she started leaning into what she really wanted to write, the people who wanted to read that found her, and she's so much happier writing that than she was the more
so
bland,
excited
generic.
for that dragon book.
The dragon,
oh my god! With the freaking what do you call those covers?
Clinch.
Yeah. Oh my god. I was like, really this dragon got 2 penises. I'm excited. Yeah, they do.
Yeah. But at the same time, I'm just like, that's all my content. So either you're here for the indie love or you're not.
I've been flipping my shit over on my Bookstagram about the Ascension series by K.A. Lindy, or is it Lind? I don't know.
That's going in my ebook haul.
I was say she is an indie author. She's been around for a while. She's originally contemporary, but I'm like, man, no one talks about your fantasy series. It's so fucking good. I was like, man, her writing just shines with the fantasy, and I was like shocked because not that a romance author can't write a fantasy. Just fantasy takes different work.
Yeah, it's so nice when your expectations aren't really there, and then you're like, this is the best.
And then I finished the series, and I found out the other fantasy series she is writing is in this world. I was like, oh my god, my prayers have been answered. Thank God. But when a romance author usually starts writing fantasy, I get very excited. I'm like, okay, I see you. But seriously, everyone, write that down. Read that book. The Ascension series came in the UK. It's good.
If you follow Jean on Bookstagram, you
do that right now.
I
expect to see an influx.
She's obviously linked in the description, so like you can do it. But okay, You guys ready to be done?
Yeah.
Per usual, I have not eaten anything
At all?
today.
Before.
At all?
Yeah, at all.
Wait,
At
this?
all.
Yes.
Yes, that one. It's free on ebook. The first one
is
is
free. It's so good. If you don't like it, I'm gonna cry, but it's okay.
I won't tell you.
Yeah, don't be the one.
Yo,
Like,
someone did that, everyone. Someone did that. They came into my DMs and were like, is this book going to get better? And I was like, I'm gonna hurt you. Don't ask me that. Bye, Tamika.
Bye. Okay, thank you everybody for hanging out with us for 2.5 hours.
Yeah, I would love to do this again. This is fun.
I will
Yes.
definitely have you again
Maybe
because
we can
honestly,
convince her to make a book too.
I love them.
Scary.
I love lives. I love watching them. Like, I don't even have to be in it. I'm just
I
like,
know.
this
I
is
love
the best.
a replay. I love a lot.
Yeah, I watch so many replays. It's not even funny. I'm like, dang it, I can't believe I missed this because
you're
I
getting
am
people
busy in the chat.
Yeah, it's just like
someone at their
real
raw
time.
self. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Not
great.
people.
So we'll have to do this again.
It's
Yeah,
so much fun.
just ask me and I'll be there.
I'm gonna do a live next month, like a full month from now. And I'm pretty sure I might do it on elitism in the book community.
Oh, it's funny you put me down. Put me down.
Wear your pearls that day.
Yeah, wear your pearls. Wear your pearls for the whole
clutch.
video.
Yeah. Yes.
But yeah, I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
wear
that
your
might
pearls.
be
I will wear
the
pearls.
next one. Do it. All right. Thank you guys. I loved having you on so much. This was very fun. And thank you everybody for watching. So that's it. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.